Take 3.
Take 3 to go live with the Nontendo podcast, baby.
Let's go.
Episode 141. It is a beautiful day outside. We have Bingle with us here in the studio.
Up, chat?
Nice to have you here, Bingle.
It's great to be here.
What a pleasant, fun experience we've been having trying to go live with the show over the last 24 hours. Wouldn't you say?
It's been a fantastic experience.
Did you expect to have to spend the night when you got here yesterday?
No.
Did you even bring a spare change of clothes?
No.
No, but he stayed anyway because he's an absolute Chad. We have a heck of a story to tell you about the night we just had to spend together, huddled together for warmth because we had no power for 12 hours. And then all we could do was strip down shirtless. No, that's lying. That's lying. That's kidding. Yeah. I'm getting too funny with it. Guys, we have a lot of stories to tell you about why this episode was so painful to get live. We even just tried to go live a second ago, and we had no audio. So this is the third attempt.
Yeah.
I'm losing my mind. Also, that has no audio either.
No. I'm hearing music.
I just kept the actual music going the whole time.
Really?
Yeah, I kept the show music going. I'll bring it out now. Well, stop yelling as well. Sorry. Why did that have no audio? That was supposed to have audio. How many times, Bingle, did I test that was working with audio before we went live? Roughly.
I have like 5 times,
Yeah,
7.
so many times. An insane amount of times. All right. It's just me and Bingle. Bingle doesn't usually run all of the bells and whistles, so I wanted to take full control today, which when I decided to do that too, I also had a co-host with me. I had Kimberly with me. I think I'm coming through on your microphone as well. Here we go. Now I think I fixed it. Yeah, it was a little bit of an echo there.
Oh, dude.
God damn it.
We love echo.
Yeah, Kimberly was supposed to help, but that was because, Thursdays, as we talked about, 6 p.m., Kim's mom comes look after the baby. She's not here right now, and she's not coming today. She doesn't come on Fridays, so it's just me and Bingle. Last night, we were all set up, ready to go, literally 5:30, locked in. Kim was getting ready to come downstairs, and then out of nowhere, so from Bingle's window there, we looked behind us, and we saw, like, crazy...
It looked like there was, like, a tornado outside.
Well, here's the thing. Apparently, there was. So I random. It was over in half an hour, but a tornado hit our county, tore down a ton of power lines, trees fell down, cars were crushed. Like it was. We went and because the power was out for 12 hours essentially. And we had to go out and get dinner. We drove out, me and Bingle went to go get some food. And it was like the streets were just littered with trees that had fallen over. Power lines were down.
We were charging our switches.
We were charging our switches, our Switch 2s, and our phones in the car because they were all dying by that point already.
We were running low.
We were running low, which we can talk about that too. And all roads were blocked off. Sirens and fire engines were blaring every direction.
Looked apocalyptic.
It felt post-apocalyptic. It was very bizarre.
Yeah.
And I was telling both these people that, like Bingle and Kim, that I've never been in a blackout for more than an hour. Like, I've lost power before, but like for an hour. I've never lost it for half a day.
It was out from 6 p.m., right?
Till 4 a.m.
Till 4 a.m.
Yeah. We were literally sat in the candlelight because we had I had one little battery light that died after a couple hours. We were sat by candlelight playing our Switches.
Playing Smash Bros.
So here's what we did. I'm sorry, I got to do more camera cutting. I got to get my finger on the trigger more. Sorry, Bingle. So here's what we did. We, at like 6:37, when we realized the power probably wasn't coming back on to do the episode, we sat down upstairs with Kim, because Kim's mum was still here, and we just started playing on our 3 Switches local Mario Kart World. And, we were having a blast.
That was fun.
Our Switches were all at 100% to begin with.
Yeah.
Man, we felt that battery quick, though. Because we did 3 or 4 knockout tours and suddenly we were all on like 40-50% battery.
Yeah, it was gone, drained,
depleting so quickly.
and it does not charge fast.
No.
No.
And we had no way of charging it.
No.
So once we all hit about 30-35%, we got scared and stopped playing because we were like, is this all we're going to get for the whole night? What if I want to play 10 minutes of Cyberpunk later?
That's what I'm saying. I was like, before bed, I played a little bit of Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Lasted 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was crazy. So we went for a drive. We just drove around for a while, charging our Switches in the car.
Right, deciding on a meal.
And we managed to get like 30-40% on our Switches.
Yeah, I got up to like 60, 70-ish%.
And then we came back and we played some Fantasy Life together, local multiplayer for like 40 minutes, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And then
it was like almost dead.
And it was almost dead again. So I gotta say, in a real world situation where we couldn't charge our Switches, the Switch 2 does not last long. And like we literally did not get far into the night last night before we had to stop playing.
Fantasy Life is not like super graphically intense.
No, not at all. And we dimmed our Switches to the lowest setting. We turned off 120. We turned off HDR. We were turning off everything we can to try and squeeze battery out of it. And it was still draining.
I mean, the wireless communication could have been draining it too, obviously, but
that's true, yeah.
But it's Fantasy Life.
It's Fantasy Life. We ended up getting saved by the Switch 1, ironically.
Yeah, the Switch 1 came in clutch yesterday.
Because at some point we realized, we have no power, our phones are dying, our Switch 2s are dead. And that you can't see it. You can see the corner of it behind me, but I have a Switch 1 kiosk that I bought. And I've been in the background of my videos recently, I've had my Switch 1 docked playing YouTube on the screen, so I have some B-roll behind me.
Is that why I see you on YouTube sometimes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my Switch 1 was fully charged because it's been sat in my kiosk. So we ended up playing Smash Brothers for like an hour or two.
Yeah.
Tabletop mode with our controllers. And what was it at the end after 100%? We got down to what?
70.
80.
80.
It was 80%.
Yeah, it was 80. Yeah. After an hour, that's pretty good.
The Switch 1 is clutch.
Yeah, the Switch 1 came in clutch.
Switch 1 battery, OLED battery, crazy.
Like we could have had another 4 hours, I think.
So that was our night. And yeah, people in chat are saying, thank goodness you guys are safe. Yeah, really. Actually, honestly, like, yeah, people, as I said, had their cars damaged. Just thankful that we were all at home. Also thankful Kim's mom
made it home.
Also, she had just got here to take care of the baby.
Oh, yeah.
And then the storm hit. So she was almost driving in it.
Well, to also for people in chat, the storm hit, like there was a tornado, a couple counties down, and then to top it off, there was 70-mile-per-hour winds. Like gusts of 70.
Yeah. Like we had bins out last night because it was bins day. Our bin was down the street. Like I had to go and fetch it.
Oh
like
my God.
And everyone's bins blew away. Yeah, it was crazy. Like when we looked out that window and then went upstairs and looked, you couldn't see outside because the rain was pelting the window. It was like a greenish gray, like just mess outside.
Damn.
You couldn't see anything.
Also, shout out to the workers that got the power back.
Yeah.
Like within 24 hours. Because I was not expecting it to come back on.
I was expecting it to be off today as well.
Yeah.
And shout out to Bingle, who the plan was for him to go home yesterday, obviously. But once we realized it wasn't happening, he was like, F it, I'll stay. And hopefully we can do it in the morning.
Yeah. I had faith. I had some faith.
Which is good, because if you didn't, I'd be doing it on my own right now. Or I would have had to have just waited till the weekend. But you don't want to come down for nothing.
Me?
Yeah.
I like to come down. It's just...
No, I said you didn't want to come down for nothing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not nothing. We played like half an hour of Switch 2 before the batteries died.
Yeah. I mean, we also had this storm bonding moment, okay?
Yeah, we had to, as I said, get naked and huddle together for warmth.
Yeah. It was really cold in the summer of June.
It actually was... The temperature, thankfully, was nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
Although today and the whole weekend, it's like 95 degrees. And we got a heat warning this morning.
Really?
And imagine if the power wasn't on. What would we do with little Stinky Joe?
You would have to throw ice.
We would have had to have gone just driving all day with the aircon on. All right, anyway, sorry. That was our crazy night. So, to be on a little bit of topic here, because we have a lot of things to talk about. Also, I didn't do this. I didn't do this for me. Look at that. You see this? You see what that says down there?
Yeah.
What does it say?
It says Woodhawker.
Yeah, it does. That's really cool. Now, Fried Biscuits, I want you to look at this and tell me what this says.
Oh, it says fried biscuits. Let's go.
You made it, buddy.
Hell yeah.
I even changed out the X to Twitch because I know you don't use Twitter at all.
Yeah, I'm not.
Which is good.
I stay off of Twitter.
I wish I did.
I stay off.
At this point, I literally only use it for work, as I say, but I wish I didn't have to.
I mean, to be fair, I turn it on my PC to share links, but I don't look what the hell's going on it. I just post a link and then exit out. I'm out.
We don't got to get into all of it. People know how I feel about that. All right, here we go. Donkey Kong Bonanza Direct coming right at you. 17 minutes of Donkey Kong Bonanza. That's all I'm willing to watch.
That's enough for me.
That's enough.
That's enough.
That's
enough.
I think we got enough out of that without getting too many spoilers.
Yeah. That's a perfect amount.
That's a perfect amount. So, I don't know. What does everybody think of what we just saw of the Donkey Kong Direct? The title of this episode is something about me refusing to watch it. I don't know how many people are on the same boat. I'd love to know in chat. In fact, I'm going to do a poll in chat if I can of how many people are avoiding watching this Direct. I legitimately have not seen it. Bingle, have you seen it?
No, I refuse.
Tell me why.
I don't want to get spoiled by anything. Okay, there's not as much first party games on the Switch right now, and I'm really excited for Donkey Kong, and I don't want to be spoiled. That's it. They usually show too much.
Yeah, actually, the consensus that I heard from people online was that they did show too much and they ruined it.
I'm so happy that I didn't watch it.
So here's the thing, and I'm being dead serious. I don't want to watch it. I refuse to watch it because it's 20 minutes of a game that I know that I want to play, that I'm excited to play. That right now I've played the first 20 minutes of the game at the Nintendo New York event. But other than that, I have no idea what the game has in store.
Like, it didn't spoil any story beats or anything like that for you.
And this is like probably the most exciting game of the year right now.
Yeah.
At least for Switch that I'm looking forward to. That and Metroid.
Yeah.
I don't really want to do a deep dive. Here's the thing that people don't know, Bingle. That these youngins don't know.
All right.
I grew up in a time where I discovered Ocarina of Time by my mom going into Blockbuster and asking the guy working there, what's a good game? And the guy was like, your son might like Ocarina.
Blessed.
I'd never played
that guy blessed.
I'd never played a Zelda before. I discovered Smash Brothers at the same Blockbuster just by going in, seeing that Link, the guy that I liked now, was in this game called Smash Brothers. I had no idea what it was. I took it home. I'm like,
Link was in it.
Oh, it's a fighting game. At the time too, I didn't know who Samus was. I think I'd seen Kirby.
Well, to be fair, I think Smash Bros. Opened a lot of characters for me too.
Yeah.
That I would have never
for
been
a lot of
privy
people.
To. Yeah.
Obviously, I knew Mario and Luigi and Donkey Kong and stuff like that. But that was me walking into a game store and picking a game off the shelf and then falling in love with it. And I feel like these days with video games and movies, we're overexposed to like the trailer. Like you watch a movie trailer these days.
Yeah.
And they'll show you the whole movie. They'll show you every beat of the movie.
All the exciting beats.
Yeah. And I watch it. I'm like, I don't have to watch that movie anymore.
I got the synapse already.
And I'm not excited to watch the movie anymore.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about the directs. Like the Mario Kart Direct, I think I watched it because it's Mario Kart.
Yeah. Well, and plus, you only really experience Mario Kart when you're playing it. Even if you see someone playing it, you don't actually experience it until you're playing it.
You kind of already knew what to expect, but also like I was watching the Direct to see if they were going to justify the $80 was another reason I was watching.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point.
And they didn't. This one, I'm so in. I played the first 20 minutes at Nintendo. It was awesome. I can't wait. And, you know, I made a conscious choice not to watch it, but every time I open TikTok or I open Instagram Reels or I open Twitter, I keep seeing screenshots and little snippets and videos and information about it, and I've legitimately gotten spoilers. I know some things about the game I wish I didn't know.
Me too.
I think the obvious one that we can talk about, because like there's absolutely no way of avoiding it.
Yep, that's true.
Is that while initially I should have brought it up, but I might actually try and bring it up quickly. Initially, the marketing had a little rock guy.
Yeah, I remember
that was alongside Donkey Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently,
I know.
You know, you can't get away from it.
I know.
It was Pauline.
Yeah.
It's like kid 13, 14-year-old Pauline.
I scroll through Reels, TikTok, whatever it is. Boom. Spoiled. Instant.
I know. And like, you know how cool it would have been. And like, I know there's no way of avoiding it. And to some extent, like, you know, they wanted to put her on the cover. So like you were always going to
get spoiled.
But to some extent, imagine if they had really just committed to this, right? This cover art. And then you play the game and then you find out it's Pauline in the game. It's like a twist.
I kind of like that cover art more.
I don't, because I actually always looked at this rock thing and I'm like, what is that? Why do I care about that little rock thing?
Okay, that's
but
fair.
It was kind of it is kind of a cool thing that they did. It's kind of like hold on, let me try. I'm trying to cut cameras here. It's kind of like what they did with Thunderbolts. How, you know, the movie at least it came out first, but the movie was called Thunderbolts, and then the movie came out, and then they changed the title to New Avengers because of a twist that happens in the movie, which you know, isn't a spoiler and is obviously ruined at this point. But the new cover art for the box art is I can't find the game case, but this, you get the point, is this now with Pauline hanging on, which is way better.
That is better.
There's so much personality in it. So that's the biggest thing. And then there was one other thing when I was scrolling through TikTok that I had ruined for me, and I don't know if I even want to tell you what it is, or if you care.
Just go for it.
You want to come along for this ride?
It'll happen. I'll get spoiled. You know, it might as well just tell me.
So apparently there's a skill tree for Donkey Kong.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Wait.
I know. I wish I didn't know.
I have so many questions now.
I know. And you know what's good though? You have those questions, and you're gonna experience it firsthand when you play the game. Because you and I, we're boycotting the direct.
Let's go.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah.
No, I'm dead serious. It's not like, you know, it's not like I wanted some fun clickbaity title or anything. If anything, people would probably prefer that I watch it and like react to it. It's just I'm taking the Arlo route, because I bet Arlo hasn't watched this either, because Arlo considers anything a spoiler.
Yeah, he doesn't like commercials at all.
If you tell Arlo there's a Pikmin in Pikmin 5, he'll lose his mind. He's like, why'd you tell me that? You robbed me of the joy. Like, seriously.
Finding out there's Pikmin and Pikmin.
Arlo is intense with it. And rightfully so. I mean, if that's how he enjoys things, and I'm the same. Like, I don't want anything of this game ruined. Now, what?
I was going to say also, when it comes to first-party Nintendo games, rarely are they ever a miss. They're always usually good. The only time I ever want to see something on a Nintendo Direct and I want to know more about is a Pokemon game, because I know there's a good chance something's going to be bad in that, or like something's going to be messed up. Is that a hot take? Maybe.
I don't care about Pokemon as much, so I'd probably watch a Pokemon.
Yeah, I watch Pokemon.
I'm so excited for this. Arlo streamed it.
Oh, damn.
That surprises me, because Arlo refused to watch the Mario Kart Treehouse event because he didn't want spoilers.
It's Mario Kart.
But he watched.
Did he watch Tears of the Kingdom too? Like,
I don't know.
Didn't want to watch it?
I don't know.
Like, oh, I'm going to watch the Tears of the Kingdom Direct, but not Mario Kart.
I don't know. He watched them. He didn't want. I don't know. That surprises me. He has multiple videos about it. Okay. All right. Well, maybe I'm worse than Arlo with spoilers.
I don't think so.
Maybe I'm the new Arlo.
You've watched good chunks of directs, but this is a whole 17, 20 minutes about a game that's not out yet, and you don't want any spoiler beats.
So I asked the chat, are you watching the Donkey Kong Direct? And 80% said yes and 20% said no.
Damn.
Wow. I just can't. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I refuse to do it. I just want the moment. I want to play it, and I want to discover. It's such a,
you know,
it's Nintendo games and these open like Mario type adventure 3D platformers. It's the sense of discovery. It's learning all the new mechanics for the first time. I just can't imagine getting it ruined for me in a 20-minute breakdown.
I think, you know what might have ruined certain things for me and getting ruined it? Like, remember when Tears of the Kingdom rumors were coming around and then actual stuff was coming out about it?
Yeah.
And when I went to go play Tears of the Kingdom, a lot of this stuff that they shown was kind of spoiled for me.
Yeah.
And I'd rather have been pleasantly surprised.
I mean, I think I did watch them, but I think there was a couple trailers I intentionally ignored now that I think about it. But imagine if they had done a direct and they'd gone over the depths.
I wouldn't have been so surprised, man.
Yeah. What if they like did a big in-depth, pun not intended, like direct on the depths and what's down there? It would have ruined the depths.
Yeah, it would have ruined the depths.
Whereas the game came out and they didn't say one thing about the depths.
No.
And you know what the coolest part of that game was for a lot of people and me?
What?
Was realizing there's a whole underground that's the size of Hyrule.
That game is very layered. There's pancakes to that game.
So literally anything that can pancake me when it comes to Donkey Kong is what I'm looking for here. I want pure joy. I want pure, unabashed, unruined joy.
Wait, you know what I'm curious? So Nintendo is known for not showing everything.
Are they? At this point, are they?
Kinda. I mean, look, wait, you just mentioned Tears of the Kingdom. We got like what? How big of a Tears of the Kingdom direct did we get?
They showed everything of Mario Kart, though.
They did show it, but it's Mario Kart.
Yeah, it is Mario Kart.
But okay, what if there's some hidden thing they're not showing, like, and there's so much more to Donkey Kong that we don't know about? I'm not, because I haven't watched the direct. I have no idea.
Well, there'll be even more that we don't know. Someone said in chat, Galactus, are you going to stop watching Nintendo Directs? It's your job, dude. It's actually not. My job is whatever I want it to be. My job is a content creator for Nintendo. Right now, I'm doing a whole podcast about not watching it.
Hell yeah,
and
dude.
This is my job right now, to make this video and this podcast about not watching it.
Listen, in less than a month, we'll find out what the hell's going on in Donkey Kong, and we'll be pleasantly surprised.
I am so excited for Donkey
too.
Kong. I'm so excited.
I also like, I don't know if this is a hot take, but I like the new design. I like Donkey Kong, how he looks.
I like it too.
I
don't know what everyone's problem is. I also like the way Pauline looks now.
She's adorable.
Yeah. But yeah, obviously most people have seen it, so I'm not judging you if you've seen it.
No. I think maybe that's what some chatters might get it like confused or annoyed.
Yeah, well, here's the thing.
We don't. It's not.
I'm buying it no matter what.
Yeah.
But in this economy, with a game that's $70, if you need something like a direct to push you over the edge or convince you that this is the game that you should be spending your hard-earned money on at a time where there's like so many games, or even if like you know the Switch 2 isn't out. Oh, the Switch 2 is out, but if you haven't bought a Switch 2 yet,
and you're
trying to weigh up like, do I drop $500? Like, is it going to be worth it? Do I really want to play Donkey Kong? Like, it's not worth the risk. Like, I already have the Switch 2. I'm already buying Donkey Kong. Yeah. So like, I totally get it if you're watching the direct to convince yourself to either buy it or to go fully commit to a Switch 2. There's absolutely no shame or judgment coming here. I'm just letting you know why I'm not watching it, and that it's going to heighten my and Bingle's experience playing the game for the first time. And Bingle, we didn't even talk about you not watching it. It just you came here and it turned out you hadn't seen it.
No, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Like when I seen my friends reacting to it and stuff, I'm like, nah.
And that was independent of this episode. And
I didn't want to watch it.
So yeah, I respect you guys and your decision. Hey, respect mine, you know what I mean? But we have a lot of stuff we can talk about today while I'm refusing to talk about that. I have a whole doc full of things that I would love to talk to you guys about.
There's been a lot of things happening.
There's so many things.
We were going crazy. We were trying to talk to each other about things we were excited about, but we're like, oh, let's save it for the podcast. And then power gone.
I can't even remember what it was now. It was like right before we went live.
I know.
Oh, I did want to say though, like the sentiment online. You know, if you're watching this episode back later and you want to know what the sentiment was like leading up to Donkey Kong, as far as I could tell from what everyone was saying online, while the direct was spoiler heavy, everything they showed was awesome. Like, people are saying that it looks incredible. People are saying it should have been the launch game, which I still disagree with wholeheartedly. I think Mario Kart is the absolute winner here. And again, it's just highlighted even more by the fact that the Switch sold, you know, at this point, it's got to be 4 million. You know what I mean?
I think for families, Mario Kart...
It made the most sense. It's accessible.
You sold me on that idea, because I didn't agree with you.
Oh, we talked about it in the bonus, actually.
Yeah.
We had a whole conversation about...
Yeah, I did not agree with you. You convinced me otherwise.
Yeah.
I was like, no, because like, it's Mario Kart, bro.
We talked about it in the bonus of last week, so I don't want to rehash it for the Patreons, but my whole thing was, I said in my video my 1 week later video, that Mario Kart is the best launch game I think that there's ever been. And a lot of people didn't understand what I meant by that. They thought I was trying to say that Mario Kart World is the best quality game. It's better than Breath of the Wild. It's better than Mario 64, you know?
That's not what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying. No. I'm saying it's the best possible launch game for a console. And the reason for that is because, and again, obviously I prefer Breath of the Wild as a game. And, you know, But the Switch 1 didn't sell 3.5 million. And a big reason why the Switch 2 did is because of Mario Kart. And because if you look at the top 5 selling games of all time, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Mario Kart 8 is number 5 at 70 million.
Yeah, a lot of people bought Mario Kart 8.
The 4 above it is, for some reason, Ark Survival Evolved.
I have no idea why.
No idea. There's GTA 5.
Understandable.
Minecraft. And
Understandable.
Wii Sports, I think, might have been the other one. I can't remember what the other one was. I think it might have been Wii Sports.
Wait, more than Minecraft?
No. It wasn't. That's not in that order. And so my point was, you know, unless Nintendo are locking down GTA 6 as an exclusive,
No shot.
or we're getting Minecraft 2 as a weird exclusive, which doesn't even make sense. Like, what is Minecraft 2?
PC 2. It's coming out for PC 2. Get ready.
And then what is Ark? And then Wii Sports. So there's an argument that people could try and have and be like, what about a Wii Sports or whatever? We've done that already. Nintendo Switch Sports. No one cared. You think if the Nintendo Switch 2 Sports was day one, that's gonna be a system seller, 3.5 million?
No.
We already had Nintendo Switch Sports, no one cared.
No,
it had 6 games. You couldn't even play it online.
I don't know if they'll ever recapture the magic of what Wii Sports was.
You can't recapture the magic. And again, I'm not saying that Mario Kart World is a better game than Wii Sports. Or, you know, I'm saying right now, for Nintendo, releasing a game with a new Switch 2 console, what was the best launch game they could possibly have done? It is a Mario Kart game.
It's also like, just like, for example, we were no internet, power's going out.
Yeah.
But we're all sitting together playing Mario Kart.
All 3 of us.
All 3 of us.
Which, you know what that
bonding.
means? But it means that 3 copies were sold to make that happen. 3 Switches were sold to make that happen.
And also,
that's exactly why it's the best launch game and why they sold so many.
It also highlights like, oh, I can detach my with Max when I was coming here last week. We detached our Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
We were playing
You
on
played
the
on the train?
I was showing him the game. He's like, oh, this
Can
is
you do
cool.
that with Donkey Kong?
No.
No. Donkey Kong's sick. Donkey Kong will be a better game.
I think so too.
It'll be a more quality game. It'll be the 10 out of 10 game to the Mario Kart World being the 9 out of 10 game or whatever you want to rate it. It will be a better game. But would it have been a better launch game? No.
No.
There's no way Donkey Kong Bonanza at launch would have helped the 3.5 million. Maybe like 2 million? Million and a half? I don't know. I don't want to get down that avenue because I don't know the answer.
I don't know the answer either.
And some people said that I'm giving Mario Kart World too much credit, that it wasn't the reason why the Switch 2 sold 3.5 million. If the Switch 2 didn't have Mario Kart at launch, let's say it didn't have that game, and it had the same lineup, do you think it's selling 3.5 without Mario Kart? What,
No.
are people buying it for Welcome Tour?
No, I wouldn't. I'd be pissed. I actually wouldn't have bought it yet.
No one would.
I wouldn't have bought it. Like at all.
Reviewers would. That's it.
That's it. I would.
What are we talking about?
I would have waited for Donkey Kong.
It was absolutely Mario Kart World that pushed it 3.5 million. And you know why? Because there's a 70 million player install base for Mario Kart 8. And all Nintendo needed was a fraction of that 70 million to really want to play the next one. And that fraction was 3.5 million at launch.
Damn.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Hit me.
Okay. I don't know if I'm jumping topics here, okay? But you know how certain third-party titles didn't sell a lot?
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if Mario Kart Worlds is a big reason for that. And not only just because the carts themselves.
Oh, yeah, we can talk about that, actually. That's in my doc.
So if you don't know, third-party titles did not sell that great on the Switch. The only one that did sell well was Cyberpunk. But I was thinking a lot of these third-party games didn't have the full game on it, but what if an $80 price tag also influenced people's decisions on getting other games?
I think, we can get in this conversation too, but I think you're absolutely right. It's definitely part of it.
Yeah.
Because people just bought a $500 console.
Yeah.
Or they bought... Well, they wouldn't buy it separately, though, would they?
What?
Most people probably bought the bundle, although the bundle wasn't widely available.
I didn't get the bundle.
Yeah, that's true, actually. At my GameStop, it was like 50-50 bundles and non-bundles.
Yeah.
And the bundles went up quick.
Yeah, the bundles are gone.
So I would say half the people probably, just judging by my GameStop, but half the people buying a Switch, half the people in this room
Yeah.
Buying a Switch couldn't get the bundle, which means they had to spend 80 for Mario Kart.
Yeah, and that influenced what games I was like. If I had
Exactly.
if I got the bundle for sure, I wouldn't have got Cyber. I would have got Yakuza 0. I would have gotten that.
So half the people buying a Switch had to spend an extra 80, and then half the people that didn't they're already dropping 500. So let's say maybe they pick up another game. It's probably Cyberpunk. That's the other big one. That's another 70.
Yeah, they don't have to install anything.
That's another 70.
Plop it in.
And then, they're looking at the rest of the library and they're like, well, I'm broke now. And also, all of these are game key carts.
Yeah.
So I'm good. Yeah, I think you have a very good point. So we can come over here and look at this. This is what Bingle's referring to. Most third-party Switch 2 games posted very low numbers. I saw the quote was, it's here actually. One third-party publisher characterized the numbers as below our lowest estimates, despite strong hardware sales. So this is actually pretty crazy. So despite the Switch 2 having a insane, record-breaking, never-seen-before 3.5 million.
Yeah, that quickly.
And despite the third-party companies putting games out, not knowing it was going to break records, and just kind of basing it on previous console releases and maybe even the Switch 1 release and kind of assessing where their sales might be.
Even on the lower estimate.
Even on the lower estimate, they were beyond the lowest of lows. 62% of physical sales were first party in the US, not including Mario Kart World bundle. 62% of physical sales were first party. Okay, so that means Mario Kart not in the bundle, and then the 2 Zeldas, that's the first party. So those made up for 62%, which makes sense because of course. Cyberpunk 2077 was the best third-party selling game. I feel like that's also and of course because it's the biggest release. It's also
a technical marvel.
It looks fantastic.
It actually does look really good.
It had a lot of promotion, and it's all on the cartridge.
I'll be honest, I was very skeptical. You kept saying it looks really good.
I've been showing you.
And you were showing me, I'm like, okay, this is sick.
It's
because
pretty
it does
crazy.
not look that good on a Steam Deck. I don't know if you played this game on a Steam.
Oh, no, it's awful.
It's awful. It
This
looks
is
terrible.
As far as a portable, even if you go into the ROG Ally and then like the high-powered PC territory, this game looks better than all of it.
I'm a PC fanboy all the way. I'm there spending. I would spend $4,000 on a PC because I'm dumb, but that looks good.
This is the conversation I keep trying to have with people. Like, yes, can you buy the Legion Go S or whatever I just reviewed? That's technically more powerful than the Switch and is running things incredible, and have it brute force Cyberpunk in a way that's very good.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's $1,000.
But it's $1,000, and also like it's inconsistent. Whereas this is optimized for the console. So even though you're locking it at 30 or 40, you know, it's optimized. It's optimized with HDR.
Yeah, it looks good.
It looks phenomenal.
It looks really good.
All right, going back to this, hopefully. Sega was the 3rd best-selling publisher on the Switch 2. So that makes sense purely because Sega put out a ton of games at launch. I can't remember them all offhand, but
we got Yakuza,
Puyo Puyo Tetris,
and
Sonic. I think there was another one too. And so they're all on your desk, actually. I don't know why. I can't just look over. Maybe that was it. So they had 3 at launch. Unless there was any more, I think they had 3. Yeah.
You got it.
So, I mean, it makes sense. They put out 3. So, of course, I can see the spines, too. I can see 3 spines there. So, yeah, they had the most chance of scatter spray. Over 80% of Switch 2 sales came from physical retailers. Software sales, which is actually insane that 80% of software sales came from physical and they were still underperforming. So only 20% was digital.
I mean, I feel like on Nintendo consoles, people
still
really like the
want
physical.
Yeah, they want to go in. It's tangible.
It's not. So the problem is the Nintendo, this console, what's the internal storage on this thing? 256?
250, yeah.
Okay. I don't want to download a lot of games on this. At most, I'll download very small games.
Mine filled up quick. I had to get that SD card in there pretty quick.
So you want physical games because they're still the only console that you just plug it in and it plays. It's not like even in PS5 when you get a Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and the whole game is on a disc, you still have to install that thing. This you just plug it in and it plays with Cyberpunk or Mario Kart.
Yeah, here's the issue. and it's not the developer's fault at all.
I know. You were talking about this.
I want to make a video about this because I want to signal boost it more on my main channel, but I want to have the conversation here. So please let me know in the chat and also in the comments when this is posted anything I'm missing to add to my video when I make it. This is 100% on Nintendo. And I don't know, this is probably my biggest actual complaint with Nintendo this generation. I don't know why this is a thing, but let's talk about it. So the reason why these game key cards exist is because Nintendo have not given developers and publishers a choice. There are two kinds of cards that publishers and developers can purchase right now to put their games in physically. The obvious game key cards, which don't fit any data on them whatsoever. They literally just have like, I don't even know. I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think like 1 megabyte of data.
That's
and
crazy.
It's literally empty. And all it does is trigger a download from the eShop or whatever digitally on your console. Those are cheap. Those cards are probably dollars to donuts or whatever the expression is. I highly doubt those cost more than a couple of cents, right? Because they're empty cards. The only other option that developers and publishers have is a 64 gigabyte card.
True.
Which, as far as we can tell right now, there's a Reddit thread here, is that they cost about $16 to manufacture.
16?
Which is a $16 fee, essentially, that the developers and publishers have to pay if they want to buy one of these cartridges. So when you look at a game like, and if you want to hold it up for me, Bingle, Puyo Puyo Tetris, for example, it's like second to the bottom down there from Sega. Puyo Puyo Tetris, for example, if you actually read it, the little fine print, the white fine print, I believe it says 4 gigabytes. Right?
It's only 4 gigs.
That game is 4 gigabytes. And I don't know, I can't remember how much that game costs. I can look it up. I doubt it's more than $40 or something. Actually, let me look up how much that game costs so I can better make a point here.
Well, if this is a $40 game and it's 4 gigabytes,
Puyo.
They would have to sell this for $50 to get their money was worth.
Price. It is $40.
Yeah.
So $40 for a 4 gigabyte. So if they say, all right, let's buy the 64 gig overkill card for our game. Now they're chipping into their $40 of profit, and now they're getting what? I can't do math. $25?
Yeah.
They're almost halving their profit.
Yeah.
Literally almost halving their profit. So why, in God's name, honestly, would Sega and whoever is working on this physical and trying to get money for this release not buy the game key card when it's their only option? But imagine if there was a 10 gigabyte card, and that costs $5. Now they could look at their options and be like, okay.
Oh, we can get physical.
Yeah, we can do physical. We can do the $5 card. It will chip into our profits. We'll still do $40, but we're going to sell more.
Yeah.
You know? The other risk here is even if Puyo Puyo Tetris developers were like, all right, our only option is 64 gigs. Let's just spend the $15. Let's say they decide, we'll just throw out a random number. Obviously, we're talking about tens and if not hundreds of thousands of copies are going to make. Let's just make it simple and say 1,000. They're like, let's make 1,000 of these, $15 a cart. That's $15,000 we got to spend on overhead. And then they only sell 500.
They lose money.
They don't even make money on it now. And that's on 1,000, which obviously the number is in the tens of thousands, if not more. They're taking a risk buying all of those. And the other issue here that you run, there's a lot of issues, is we haven't even seen an indie game come to the system yet, and I'm not surprised. But on the Switch 1, for example, a really cool thing, you go to GameStop, you would see Dead Cells.
Yeah.
You'd see Stardew Valley. You would see Celeste. These physical indies on the shelf at GameStop for $20. Sometimes I'd go on sale for $14.99.
They'll be like $30-$40.
Well, what if they want to make a physical now?
Yeah, it's going to be too expensive.
Either it's not an option and they have to get a game key cart because literally all of their profits will be on a 64 gig card. Yeah. Or they just don't do a physical. Or they make them $40. Now, Dead Cells or Hollow Knight or whatever would have to be $40 instead of $20, which is affecting us, the consumer.
There should be more options for this. I don't like. We were just talking about the
That's my next point. The
new-
Raidu.
The Raidu game. I'm like, you know what? Should I just get the Switch 1 copy and upgrade it? Like, is there an upgrade path? Because like, I want the whole. I don't want to have to download the game.
So I tweeted this, and it got traction. Fortunately, positive this time, and not like my Switch 1, Switch 2 debacle.
Okay. Well, we love to hear it.
So I said, wait, so the Switch 2 version of this game, I can't read it because it's trying to promote. The Switch 2, I'm not even on the right screen. The Switch 2 version of this game is a game key card, but the Switch 1 version isn't. They're the same price, but only the Switch 2 version has the enhanced features. So I'm legitimately in this position right now in real life where I'm trying to decide what I'm supposed to do because I'm trying to buy Switch 2. I want the enhanced because it's 1080p instead of 720. And I want it for the collection, but it's a game key card. Or I could buy the Switch 1 version, which is backwards compatible. The game is on the thing. It's the same price, but it's 720p and it will look like the Switch 1 version running on my Switch 2.
No, it's worse.
So why did I spend $500 on a Switch 2 at that point if I'm playing a 720p game? So I'm caught in the middle. What do I do?
I just realized that they're the same freaking price. So there is
They're the
no
same price.
There is no enhanced upgrade path.
No.
Oh, that's terrible.
And even if there was an upgrade path, let's say best case scenario it upgrades for free, which as far as anybody knows it doesn't. I've still got to buy the Switch 1 version, and I can't buy the Switch 2 version for the collection. I got to buy the Switch 1 version, which is cool, I guess. There's at least an option for Raidu because it's a cross-release, but pretty soon we're going to start getting into games that aren't cross-releasing.
And they're just game
and
key
they're
cards.
game key cards. But this is a situation right now that obviously sucks. Because what is the option? There is no option.
I feel like for the longest time, like Nintendo, we didn't have this issue with Nintendo. But now we're starting to get there. Like PlayStation, it's like this with PlayStation disc games and stuff.
I know. Well, it's worth saying, too, that the reason why, if you didn't know, I mean, it's obvious, but if you didn't know, it's not obvious. I don't want to make you feel bad. The reason why the Switch 1, it has the data on the disc is because the way the Switch 1 generation worked was there was multiple sizes of cartridges. Developers could buy, I'm not sure the exact sizes, but let's just say 5 gigs, 10 gigs, 20 gigs, 32 gigs, and 64 gigs. They could pick a size, right? Mm-hmm. So Raidu is probably, for Switch 1, I would guess using a 20, 30 gig cart, maybe at most, which is probably $5, $10 or something like that. Maybe not even that much, actually, because it's older now. Cheaper, yeah. Probably cheaper at this point. Switch 2 carts are like way more expensive as well because they're like super fast, right?
Yeah.
They're running the games way faster than before. I mean, people have done tests running Mario Kart World straight off the cartridge and off the SSD. And the cartridge is actually a little bit slower by like half a second or a second or something. But it's essentially the same speed, which means those cartridges are fast, right? And they have to be to keep up. So I don't know why Nintendo has done this. The only thing I can assume is maybe because of like tariff situations and making these things now is a little bit more expensive. Maybe they're waiting or holding off of making other sizes. Maybe the cartridges are just more expensive in general, so they didn't figure it was worth it just offering this one size. And the one they were like, we can only offer one size for some reason, so I guess it's got to be the biggest size.
I'm curious, like what you said, it may not be worth it. What if that speed thing? It just makes it expensive no matter what.
That's
size
what I'm
they put
thinking.
it. So
that's
like
what I'm saying.
1 megabyte, they don't have to worry about the speed.
So
just download it.
So even if it's like a 10 gigabyte cart, maybe it still costs $10 anyway because
the speeds.
But I don't know what the reason is, but if they have any plans of fixing it later, I mean, obviously that's great. Fix it. The answer is fix it. But even if they have plans to fix it later, that doesn't help launch.
No.
That doesn't help the developers that are supporting the console at launch. And also, by the way, I want to add, a big problem the Wii U had that tanked and ruined the Wii U, the same problem the Switch had for the first year or two before more developers joined, was lack of third-party support.
Yeah.
Nintendo have gone out of their way to fix third-party support issues over the Switch 1 lifespan to the point where Switch 2 developers were like, we want to be there day one. We want to support this console day one. And look at all the games that got released. We got a Street Fighter 6 port. We got...
This is more than Switch 1 had.
We got a Hitman support. We got all this Sega support. We got Capcom support. And the payment... The payment that Nintendo has given them here, or the return or whatever of actually being here day one, is they've forced them to do game key carts, which people are refusing to buy and they're boycotting. They're boycotting the hard work these developers have done putting the games on the console because the developers didn't have a choice. And even though you can say some, I'm on a tangent right now. I'm sorry. I haven't even looked at chat. Even though you can say some of them did have a choice, right? Like you could look at maybe Yakuza because it's a 50 gig game. So it's like, well, what you were always going to have to get a 64 gig cart no matter what,
no matter
right?
what.
But it's $15. And you got to think of it on a company standpoint. They're
How
like,
much is Yakuza normally?
I got to look it up.
It's like a $60 game.
Whatever it is, it's cutting into their profits $15 a pop.
They should have charged 70 then.
I mean, that's the alternative is to raise the price to 70.
I
mean, that Cyberpunk is 70.
The whole, I feel like the whole point for a digital store that everybody was kind of like somewhat on board with. I could be wrong. This is gonna be a hot take, but like, digital is supposed to be cheaper. It's always supposed to be cheaper than physical.
You know, that would be a decent, I think maybe, and we'll ask chat, I think that would be maybe a decent option is just Nintendo give the developers a choice of buying these cartridges.
Yeah, I think that would be a great option.
But they're $10 more for physical. This is funny because this is what pissed people off about the 80 and 90 Mario Kart debacle when people thought it was 80 and 90.
But at least you're getting physicals again.
But at least it's physical.
For the collectors out there.
Let me think this out, and then we'll see what people think. At least give them the option, right? So the physical could be 60, and then the digital could be 50, but at least it's on the cartridge rather than the game cart. I don't know what... actually, that sounds horrible, but I don't know what the alternative is here. So Yakuza is 50. So Yakuza... By the way, and I did a sponsor for Yakuza, and I think the port they did was fantastic.
It looks really good.
It's really good.
I want to get it.
It looks better than like PlayStation 5 version somehow. It's running incredible, but they also added in 30 minutes of extra content from story missions to cutscenes, and they added in a whole extra mode. Like they did a ton of work to actually make this a fun, unique, justifiable repurchase. And technically, because of that stuff, and it was already the director's cut, it's the best, it's the most complete, it's the most full version of the game.
It
right?
looks really good, yeah.
That you can get anywhere.
Yeah.
And they kept the price at 50.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's
But
awesome.
I guess if they did a physical with the 64 gig cart, they probably would have had to have raised the price to at least 60. I personally, with that information in mind, would probably rather pay 60 for the physical than buy 50 digital, because at least I get something.
Mm-hmm.
But I think to the general consumer, they're going to see 60 and 50, and they're not really going to think that through. They're also not going to care, and they're going to get pissed off. So I don't think it's an answer. I don't think that solves anything.
I think, yeah, damn.
So, I mean, is the answer at that point, it's just 60 and the digital is also 60?
You know what? I think what's going to happen is we're going to have some growing pains when it comes to these micro, because like it's essentially the Switch card is using micro SD Express, right? Like it's essentially, that's what it is. Eventually when this technology becomes cheaper to manufacture, then I think we're going to see more different types of, what's it called? Like different gigabyte sizes and stuff to be sold. But it should already be a thing.
It should already be a thing. I do hope as we move forward with this generation, maybe the technology or like, do you know how SD cards always get cheaper and cheaper? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Hopefully the cartridges get cheaper and cheaper and Nintendo can find a way to manufacture.
That's what I'm hoping for, yeah.
But it doesn't help us now.
No.
Are they going to re-release these games on actual cartridges? That would suck for people that already bought them as game key cards. And people that keep saying, by the way, like, boycott the game key cards. Don't buy the game key cards. What option do I have? I mean, the other option is buying digital. It's the same price, and I don't even get a case. I mean, some of these come with a little art book inside, but I don't even get a case. I don't even get a physical. I don't get something to put on the shelf. It's technically, even though those are game key cards, which are essentially useless to me, even though that is the case, this is technically still something more than just buying it digital.
Okay, yes, and I'll tell you also, for those that like to buy a game, like buy maybe 2 games, and then when they're done with it, bring it back to GameStop and possibly trade it in for another thing, you can trade in the game key cards.
Yeah, those still, I mean, theoretically speaking, those still hold the same value that a physical game could.
Yeah.
Because you can trade them, it's still the same game. The marketplace dictates the value, right? So if digital, it's 50, the game key card's not going to randomly be $10. people are still it's still the same price.
Yeah, so you can trade those in. Like I was watching some thrift store or whatever, actually taking them in. They were testing it to see if it would work on their Switch. Obviously, it does.
Yeah, it does. They act the same way, so they have the same replay value, the resale value. You can still give them to friends, to try games and to borrow games, right? And you can still trade them in. So technically, that is a better deal than buying digital. So boycotting those just because they're game key cards, the only reason to do it is to say, hey, I'm never gonna buy this game, digital or physical.
This has no excuse.
I know. Let me finish my thought. The only reason to boycott these is to make a statement and say, I'm not gonna buy it this way or digital until you make this physical in a way where the game is on the cartridge, which means you're punishing yourself because you can't even play the game or buy it digital. If you go and buy it digital, you're still giving the company their money the same way they would have if you bought it that way.
I think they make more.
So to them, they make more because that still costs at least a penny, right?
Yeah, this is costing them something.
So if you go and buy it digital, you're not boycotting that. You're buying in a different way. So the only way is to not buy it at all, and then you're missing out on playing something you want to play.
True.
But if you can stick, that is an actual boycott. And if enough people can stick to that it fixes this, then so be it. But I just don't think that's going to happen. I think people are going to buy it digital in the end of the day.
I buy digital sometimes because it's very convenient. But I really want to go physical this generation.
I buy digital if there's no other option. If there's only a digital release, I'll buy it digital. If there is even a way of importing the game from Japan physical, I'll do that before buying it digital. Just because I like to feel like I have it and it can't be taken away from me.
True.
Even though technically I don't own what's there, the whole thing, right? Even though I own those in my house, I don't technically own the game that's on them or whatever. That's the whole agreement that I still feel like I own. I can still
own the license to play them.
Some of those, maybe not the game key cards, but maybe Cyberpunk, maybe some of those can actually increase in value. Digitals cannot.
No.
They can only go down. Well, I can only say the same, really.
I don't think this would.
Yeah, tell me. Yeah, that one sucks.
There's no excuse for this one. A literal code that you have to take time out of your day to plug in and download this stupid game, you know? And it makes sense that it's EA. It really does.
That one and Civ 7 are the only two physical releases we have right now for Switch 2 that are actually code in the boxes. Why? Like you're saying, why? When the game key cards exist for this very reason, right? They're a cheap little bit of plastic. How's it any different to the piece of paper that's in that box?
I think they're greedy and they don't want people reselling it. I think that's what it is.
That is the only thing. That is the only answer.
Only thing I can think of, because like you cannot resell this. This is
you can't
useless the moment you open and someone redeems the code.
That is useless. You're right about that. There is no way of reselling that. Yeah, well that's EA for you.
And that's EA. Yeah, I don't know about Civ 7, but Civ 7 is not doing too hot on Steam.
Wait, who publishes Civ 7? Can you look that up?
Yeah.
Just look up who. I'd be curious to see who publishes Civ 7, because if it's EA as well, that would speak volumes. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of is you can't resell it, which Split Fiction is a weird one to me because it's like they're in kind of indie.
2K.
Well, that makes me worried about Borderlands.
Borderlands might be a code.
There's no other 2K games on Switch right now, is there? No, I don't think so. Yeah, that makes me worried about Borderlands. They can resale and re-download. Code in the box is straight to jail. I don't think they can resale and re-download.
No, what?
People are saying so one person in chat said you can resell. You can't resell those. I don't believe so.
You can resell your digital the game key cards, but not the digital downloads.
Not the digital downloads, no.
But that's the whole point. That's what a lot of people like to do.
You could sell somebody your Switch 2 and not log out.
Why would I want to do that?
I'm just saying that's how you could do it. Tony Hawk is code in the box. Wait, who does Tony Hawk? That sucks. I was
Activision.
I was
right?
excited.
Was it
to pick that
Activision?
Up.
They
yeah,
used
it is. It's Activision.
Of course,
I'm pretty sure it's Activision.
It's all the usual
this
suspects.
Sucks. This actually sucks. Chat. This sucks. This whole situation. The thing that sucks the most though is not even like Well, no, it's us. It sucks for us.
Yeah, it hurts for us.
The side effect that sucks here that we were talking about is like we were saying that the physical sales are just down. They're so lowest of lowest estimates. And again, I don't feel for these $1 million companies. I feel for them as much as I can, but I do appreciate after the Wii U, as I said, and the Switch 1 debacle of just not getting the support from third parties and being really isolated on those consoles with really Nintendo and a couple of select partners supporting it, to finally be in a good position with third parties and this be their experience of a launch. This is what this says to other developers is don't bother because you're not going to sell.
Well, that's also another thing to note, and I'm not saying that this is going to be a Sega situation or a Dreamcast situation, but a reason Dreamcast failed like astronomically was they were releasing consoles every 2 freaking years, right? Like the Saturn, then boom, Dreamcast. Like so, developers were working on this system, that system, and third parties just pulled out. They were done. Yeah, they did not want to work for the system at all.
That just makes me worried that third parties won't consider the console. Someone in chat said this convo's reminded me of when TLC first started. I mean, yeah, there's like conversations and upsets that happen along the line. I mean, I remember when cosmetics were a thing and everyone was in uproar about cosmetics. Charging for cosmetic items in video games was like the biggest controversy of like 10, 15 years ago. Now it's Fortnite is run on the back of that and people love buying skins. I was on that wave of cosmetic hate. Initially, I thought it was the most ridiculous thing. And then Bob and I were giddy when we bought our Sabrina Carpenter skins in Fortnite the other day. And I was doing all the dances. I was reveling. I was
King, we've been guilty of spending too much money in Valorant too.
And Valorant, yes.
Yes.
This, I don't know why, this feels different. And I think part of it feels different. It's like when DLC became a thing and when cosmetics became a thing, companies only really stood to make money from that. Companies don't stand to make money from this if sales are below the lowest of lows. This is kind of a different issue. Like, if for whatever reason this was making companies money hand over fist and we were here complaining about it, like, oh, this is so bad for the consumer and so greedy from the corporations, it's like people are calling the game key cards greedy, but it's almost like a necessity because the situation Nintendo has put them in, and it's costing them money now. It's costing them sales.
It's too much. I think it's too much to expect, like, for a company to get a crap ton of overhead, spend this much amount of money, and then what if it doesn't sell?
Yeah. Someone said watching Wood play with the knife is giving me anxiety, so I put it down. Regular people aren't going to care about key cards. I kind of feel like you're wrong.
No, people care. No.
I think people care more than you realize.
People care because, like I said, this is not a terabyte system.
Yeah,
there's a whole much more baggage with the system because you
people
have to
care.
Okay,
people also aren't that dumb. I mean, some people are, but when you go to a store and you read a box and it says, "Hey, this is a game key card," you probably try and figure out what that means, right?
Yeah, and you ask,
and I feel like a lot of people. Obviously, people aren't happy with this because the lowest of lows. People aren't going and buying it in droves.
I think people would be more acceptable to eat it if the system was like 500 gigs or more.
Maybe. I still don't think so.
Really?
People, it's weird. It's weird because people, I think, will be more happy, weirdly, with buying the digital than supporting a physical that has nothing on it.
Really?
I wonder if that's true. Let me ask chat. If I don't know how to word this poll.
Because then if that's the case, then people would have been buying this game digital. I just feel like there's not enough space on the system to justify buying a whole list of games right now.
Game key card or just buy the digital. Okay, so what I've said is, would you rather buy an empty physical game key card or just buy the digital? So I'm going to say game key digital. And I'm actually, be honest, I'm actually really curious what you guys would rather buy. Whether it's out of principle, whether it's out of just how you view the situation. I'm really curious how this poll goes. So, off the rip, I don't know if this is going to level out, but I was right. 70% are already saying digital. they'd rather just buy digital than buy an empty physical.
Yeah. Damn. Wow.
It's just not a practice that works. And look, I know I'm sat here with all of them, like they're all over there, right? So that's twofold. On one hand, I'm a YouTuber and I wanted to make the video, you know, and I write them off on taxes and they pay for themselves ultimately when I make the video, right? So like my case is different. Remove me out of it. There's also a situation for me where it's like, for some reason, I view this differently. I already knew you guys would view it opposite, but I would rather get something out of it. If I'm going to spend the money anyway, I would rather get something out of it. But I am well aware the public perception is so livid and so upset by the fact these things exist that they would rather not support it and buy digital. And that's 100% valid. And I'm honestly with you with that. And also, if I wasn't a collector like the way that I clearly am, I would probably be doing the same thing even as a YouTuber. And I know a lot of people, I know Bob is, I know a lot of YouTubers are. It's just part of my like shtick on YouTube for the last 8 years is having this behind me. And if I can't put something behind me, it just feels like, how do people know I have it?
I'm curious. What if like
it's a set dressing in a way? What
if like, you know, these companies, there's a Switch 2 game, let's say, but they have like for the smaller games, like 5-10 gigabytes, it's just a download only, but it's on the cart itself, and you have to put the cart in and it's download. Would people be more willing to do that?
What? Say that to me again.
Like, so Final Fantasy Rebirth, right? It's on a disc.
Yeah. You
can't actually play it off the disc. You have to download everything.
Yeah.
What if they did stuff like this, but with a Switch 1 cart?
Is that not the same thing?
No.
How is it not the same thing?
Because you're downloading off the internet. The game is not there. Inherently,
That's what that is.
Yeah.
The same thing.
If it's so for a game preservation point of view, it's definitely not. Because if the eShop ever goes offline,
yeah. Well, if the Sony store ever goes offline, you can't download it.
Rebirth, you can.
How?
It's the whole game is on 2 discs.
Oh. Then what are we talking about?
I'm saying if they were to put like one of these games, like the 4 gigabyte versions of these games, right, on a cart.
Yeah.
And knowing like you can't really run Switch 1 games off of the Switch 2, right? Because it's like weird. Or
wait,
whatever.
You're saying get a Switch 1 cart
and just download it.
Put the game on the cart.
Yeah, and just download it.
So the whole game's on the cart.
Yeah.
But to play it, you have to download it to your console.
Yeah, so it
because
plays
the Switch 1 cart can't play it.
Yeah, you need
which is what Final Fantasy essentially does.
Yes,
because it wants to run off the hardware, the PlayStation. It can't run off the disc.
It's too slow.
You're getting into semantics, but I'll tell you, if they did that and they didn't have to write Game Key Cart on the box, I think people wouldn't care.
Yeah,
I think they would be fine.
I think people would have bought it.
I think actually the messaging of Game Key Cart is what's ruining the whole thing. Because it's funny in a way when you think about it, because they're really just being honest about what it is, which is nice that they're being honest and transparent about what a Game Key Cart is. But you think of examples like on PlayStation 5, 2 that come to mind, because I know it to be a fact: Call of Duties that have PlayStation 5 releases, like the most recent Call of Duty, and Hogwarts Legacy. Both of those, the discs, when you buy them, have a 1 megabyte file on them that proxy a download.
Yeah, that's true.
Hogwarts, for example, you can't actually open and play the game until it does the update.
I think Nintendo
and downloads
being
everything.
Too transparent is hurting them.
Technically, Hogwarts and Call of Duty should be labeled in this situation as game cart discs or game disc keys.
Yeah, game disc
keys.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
And there has been occasions where people watching this right now and I have already bought game disc keys and we didn't know because they don't write it on the box. They don't write it. If they weren't transparent about this, probably would have sold a lot better and people wouldn't care nearly as much and the conversation wouldn't be nearly as vocal. But because every single one of those cartridges, other than Nintendo's and Cyberpunk and Rune Factory, say Game Key Cart, and we all know for a fact there's no game on each of those, it makes it feel way more empty and hollow. So the answer is Nintendo, stop being so honest. I picked up the blade again.
Put the scalpel down.
Sorry, I don't know why I keep doing it's helping me. It's fidgeting. Game disc keys is a mouthful, I know. But you know what I mean? That's fair, right?
I mean, they've been doing that since the PS4 era.
Yeah, there's been, it's not every game, but it's not to this level. Like on PlayStation 5, I don't think it was ever to this level where so many games in succession and in general were not on the disc. It's just there have been cases of it. And those are the two that I know of. I'm sure there's more, but it's not as widespread as now every single one is going to be that way. I just wonder if they weren't ever, I wonder if legally they had to say something, because I feel like no. Right? Legally, did they have to? I mean,
I don't
Hogwarts
know.
didn't. Call of Duty doesn't. People don't even realize. So legally, if they didn't have to, I wonder why they committed to, other than just being
I haven't bought
honest.
Call of Duty physical in years because of this reason.
No, I mean,
I think since the
who does? Who does?
Yeah, who does?
I'm sure some people do. Combo endpoint, Nintendo stopped telling us stuff. That was not the takeaway. It's just it's an interesting thought experiment, right?
Yeah. We're trying to figure out and think about it.
Because I'm trying to break down the public perception of game key cards, right? We can move on. I think that's everything that I really wanted to say anyway. I do want to make it a video. But the reality is Switch 2 third-party games are struggling to sell. We think that's mostly because 90% of them are game key cards. There's another element to it, as Bingle pointed out, that the Switch 2 is already very expensive, and if you get that and Mario Kart, and then even if you fork out and get Cyberpunk, I mean, you're at like $600, $700.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, like, maybe you get the microphone, maybe you get a Pro Controller, you're getting up close to $1,000.
And on top of that, you're running out of space now.
Yeah, and now you're going to look at the rest of what's available at GameStop, and you're going to be like, oh, they're all game key cards. Do I want to drop another 50 on that? It's like, no, maybe later I'll just get it digital.
Yeah, maybe later I'll get it digital when I have a bigger storage.
Yeah, or just maybe when I when I get bored of Mario Kart.
Or I get bored of Mario Kart.
Or whatever, maybe I'll get digital. I don't have to get this right now. Same difference. And then without that incentive too, like there's an impulse, right? And that was the moment too. This is the last thing I'll say, unless I think of something else. Impulse purchases are a thing. And launch day, when people are in GameStop, they're in Best Buy, they're in Target, and they're standing there and they're buying their console, right? Mm-hmm. And they see the games on the shelf. There's an impulse purchase that goes into it where they're like, oh, I'll just grab that while I'm here. And that's when a lot of these third-party companies want to be on launch, right? Because they want to be in the store. That impulse purchase is gone if somebody thinks, well, it's the same thing as digital, so I'll grab it later if I decide I want it or I get bored of Mario Kart.
True. Yeah.
And then they won't buy it. They'll forget.
Yeah.
Or something else will come out later. Or by the time they're done with Mario Kart, another game will come out. Or something else might pique their interest. Or they'll just buy play one of their backwards compatible games. That's another thing too. I told you there might be something else. That could be a third leg of this tripod. It's backwards compatible. So a lot of people might have been like, I'll buy Mario Kart. I'll buy whatever. And then Scarlet, I never finished Scarlet and Violet. I never finished the DLC that I bought.
Oh, yeah.
And it has an update now.
I literally have 70 games on my Switch 1 already. That's on my Switch 2 now.
And I think backwards compatible is always the way they should have gone.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what I was saying leading up to launch. And it's actually the one thing that I got wrong when I was predicting the launch until Bob convinced me a year ago that it was going to be backwards compatible. I always thought that it wasn't going to be backwards compatible for this very situation. Because what's the incentive of A, going and buying the console, period, if it plays all the same games other than one, which right now it does, or B, buying anything extra at launch, supporting any of these third-party new games other than the one first-party one, if you have 15,000 games, most of which are on sale or cheap because they came out 8 years ago, that you can check out now instead.
Are any of these games right here on Switch 1?
No, those ones, no.
None of them.
I mean, Zelda's.
Besides Zelda, there's no Yakuza 0 on Switch 1?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Or Sonic?
That one, yes. Sonic, yes. And Hogwarts.
Okay.
Yeah, that could be a third leg of the tripod is people just relying on backwards compatible, which, again, the console should always be backwards compatible. I'm not saying it shouldn't be. That's what makes this console really cool. But it's definitely less incentive for people to go crazy buying anything because they probably already have a whole library of games. Or they'll pick up... Or now they're more likely to, if they didn't have any games before, to buy Switch 1 games because at least they're not game key cards.
True. Or if... I know some... like, I was hearing some people that didn't touch... Which is crazy to me, but didn't touch the new Zelda games that came out because their frame rates were so bad. They didn't want to do it. Now they're playing it because it's on Switch 2 and it's 60 FPS.
I'm actually curious. I don't know if you can tell by looking at it. Probably not. It's not even in there. It's in my game case. What game cart Rune Factory used? Because Rune Factory isn't a game key cart. It's a physical. And it's actually the Switch 1 game. So that Switch 2 case that you have there, if you take, it's the third from the bottom. If you take that red game out of there, the red Switch 2 cart, right? Give me a yes, so I know you're listening.
Yeah, I'm listening.
It's not in there. I told you it's not in there. If you took it, though, and you put it in a Switch 1, it would play. Because it's the Switch 1 version of the game. If you take it and put it in a Switch 2...
It updates?
It updates to the Switch 2 version. So I wonder what cart... Is that a 64 gig... Switch 2 cart, or is it a red-colored Switch 1 cart that's cheaper?
Well, no. Do Switch 2 carts work in the Switch 1? No. They don't.
Well, that one does.
Because it ain't Switch 2. It ain't Switch 2
Well, that's what I'm asking. So if that's
how many gigs is this?
I don't know. Might say on the back. But if that's true, and chat, I don't know if someone can find this out for me. If that is a red-colored Switch 1 card that's downloading an update to run, and it does. It downloaded a 20-minute update even when I was wired in. It's a big update. It might have downloaded the whole game, actually. It might have downloaded the whole Switch 2 version of the game to run locally on the console because it can't run off that cart because it's a red-colored Switch 1 card.
So essentially what I just said.
Yeah.
What I was talking about before.
So I wonder why Raidu didn't do that. Because Raidu could have been a Switch 2 physical on a Switch 1 cart that works on a Switch 1.
Cheaper.
But then downloads the Switch 2. No, because they're already making a Switch 1 cart for the Switch 1 version.
I don't know.
They should have done that for Raidu. Because then also, you don't have to do an upgrade path. It just downloads the upgrade when you stick it in. So Raidu, I think, messed up. And Raidu, by the way, because it says Game Key Cart, is going to hurt its sales when it could have done what that did. If that did what I think it did, which is a fake Switch 2 cart. I'm accusing that of being a fake.
Hold on. I gotta find out.
We never called Ham. I forgot to call Ham.
Oh, yeah.
I got carried away. Ham. I wonder if that's true. Can anyone look that up? I feel like I'm Phoenix Wright in Ace Attorney. And you, sir, used a fake Switch 2 cart, a Switch 1 colored in red. The evidence is stained on your hands as I found you red-handed, good sir. I've never actually played Ace, so.
It's roughly 6 gigabytes, and while on the Switch 2 version is 18 gigs. So this would be cheap to produce for the Switch 1.
That's an 18 gig game?
18 gigs for Switch 2.
Well, there's no way they bought a 64 gig cart for $15 then.
No. This would
I really feel
money.
like it's a Switch 1 cart colored in red.
Yeah, I think it's a Switch 1 cart.
Because the Switch 2 game isn't on that cart. I'm telling you now, it's not on that cart.
Well, is it a game key card then? It doesn't say it on the box. Maybe they're the first people lying to us.
So people in chat are confused, I think. Someone said Switch 2 version is a dedicated Switch 2 version. Switch 2 editions work on Switch 1 and 2 because it has Switch 1 game and the patch. Yeah. For 2 on the same cart. Yeah, that's what
we're trying to say.
I think people are getting confused. Let me reiterate. I don't know how to explain this. It's really confusing, so I don't blame it. That Switch 2 cart, yes, it's red. Yes, it says Switch 2. Yes, it looks like it's a Switch 2 cart. If you put it in a Switch 2, it only has the Switch 1 version. It will then proxy a download to upgrade it and install the Switch 2 version because it's not actually the Switch 2 version, it's the Switch 1 version. And the reason why they did that is because if you put it on a Switch, if you take that red cart, it works on a Switch 1, because it's actually
A Switch 1 card.
a Switch 1 card with the Switch 1 version. And the Switch 1 just doesn't download that extra update. So yes, it is a Switch 2 cart by marketing. My theory is that it's actually a Switch 1 cart. It's a Switch 1 cartridge with the Switch 2 edition patch, says Gamer Bros YouTube. That's what I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what I think.
That makes a lot of sense.
Someone says, oh, we should talk about this. If you put Hogwarts Legacy in Switch 2 in a Switch 1, the Switch 1 version will play Switch 2 games work in Switch 1. They will just play the Switch 1 version unless there isn't a Switch 1. If you put the Hogwarts Legacy Switch 2 in Switch 1, that can't be true. Can you look at Hogwarts Legacy? Is that a game key card or a physical?
It's a game key card, I thought. It's not physical.
Just look at Hogwarts. It's like 5th down. You're killing me. The next one.
Okay, I got it.
It's game key card. Yeah, that doesn't work in a Switch 1.
No.
That can't work in a Switch 1. I don't believe you. Because there's nothing on it. It would have to download it.
Well, I heard. Well, wasn't there a rumor going around that if you put Hogwarts into like your Switch 1 Hogwarts and put it into a Switch 2?
That's what I thought they were gonna say. So, but if you don't know this, you can essentially get Hogwarts Nintendo Switch 2 edition for your Switch 2 for $10. Like you can get it for $10 without having to buy the base game. Here's how you do it. Little hack for you. Borrow from a friend or a Blockbuster video, you know, or go to a store even that has refunds and buy it temporarily, right? But let's say you borrow the Switch 1 version, put it in your Switch 2, play the game up to the point where you can save, right? And it'll be playing the Switch 1 version on your Switch 2, so it'll look bad. Then upgrade the game, spend $10 on your account to upgrade the game. It'll create a game key cart digital of the game. You can then give back or return the Switch 1 version that you borrowed, and you can keep the Switch 2 version.
So all you have to do is get a used game at GameStop. They have a return policy on them.
Yeah, exactly.
So damn.
It's kind of a yeah.
Yeah, screw that company.
You can get it for $10. Why not? Right?
Why not?
If you didn't know, you can get Hogwarts Legacy 2 on Switch 2 for $10. So go run to your GameStop, buy it pre-owned, and then return it, or ask a friend if they have it.
I wonder if that works for any other Switch titles. Is it just Hogwarts?
I think it's just Hogwarts. That's the only one I've heard.
It
Someone
doesn't
said, listen to Christopher. Christopher's saying the physical Switch 2 version is a red 64 game cart that will work on either a Switch 1 or Switch 2. The correct version will launch automatically depending on the console. Okay, well then it's not fake. I don't know where they're getting that from. I'm just going to trust them. It is a 64 gig cart, which means they spent the $15. I actually think that game is $70, so that makes sense.
It's a $70 game?
I think it is a $70 game. So it's not a fakie, but it's a 64 gig Switch 2 cart that has the Switch 1 version on it.
I mean...
Yeah.
What? But don't you have to...
You're not confused by that.
But why'd you have to download it? Download anything for it? Didn't you have to download a big patch?
I'm going to kick you in the butt.
Okay.
It's a 64 gig Switch 2 cart that has only the Switch 1 version on it.
Oh.
So you put it in your Switch 1, you're all Gucci. You put it in your Switch 2, it has to download the rest.
Okay.
Yeah. Although people are saying it has the patch on it, whatever you want to call it, you still have to download it from online.
Okay. Okay.
Unless I'm wrong and it downloads it from the cart, but it needed Wi-Fi, so I don't think so.
No, if it needed Wi-Fi, it's not coming from the cart.
Yeah.
Like, Rebirth doesn't need Wi-Fi.
Wood gonna crash out. Well, to be fair, I was accusing it of something and I wasn't sure, but I've been wrong too. I kept saying it was a Switch 1 cart. So then Raidu, that's why Raidu didn't do it. The game key cart thing is extremely confusing. That's why Raidu didn't do it, because then they would have had to have bought
the 15.
But could you just do it? Why not? Just paint a Switch 1 cart red. Who's gonna know?
That's true. Like, why not?
All right, we got to get off this topic. We've been talking about it too long. There's a lot. We have so many things. I think we're already over an hour.
No way.
I have so many things I wanted to talk
Oh,
about.
we are over an hour.
All right. Guys, hear me out here. I'm going to tell you something right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you how I know. Do with this information what you will. All right. There's going to be a Nintendo Direct next month. In July.
How do you know?
I can't tell you. I just said I can't tell you how I know. You know how I know, but I can't tell you how I know.
Okay.
Here's what we're going to see. Metaphor.
Oh, hell yeah. That's actually perfect for the system.
I know. Although now I'm worried it's going to be a game key cart because the Raidu is Atlas as well.
Well,
Everything's a game key cart.
but Metaphor is a huge download. And I think it's a $70 game.
Then they should do physical.
They should do physical.
Atlas, if you're listening. This one's obvious for a direct, but we're gonna get GameCube shadow drops.
Oh, thank God.
And
it needs more.
I heard it was Pokemon Coliseum was one.
No.
Mm-hmm. Not Gale XD. That's coming later. They're doing one at a time.
They're still sick. That's pretty dope.
This one, I don't know about this one. It's just what I was told. Death Stranding Director's Cut S.
I can see Death Stranding coming to the Switch,
Well,
too.
the new game's coming out too soon.
Okay.
This one's also obvious, I feel, but Witcher 3 Nintendo Switch 2 edition.
Okay, yeah.
They also just added cross-save and cross-play to Witcher 3.
Are they going to charge $10 for it? Or like...
I mean, I don't know specifically.
But they're
I
known
haven't been told specifically.
Okay. But they're known to
But I would guess so.
They give free updates. Even the PS4 got like I think it was a free PS5
yeah, but with
update.
the Switch 2 editions are actual like releases that will get like a physical.
Okay.
So I mean, I don't know if they're gonna add anything to it or they're gonna add like motion controls like they did for Cyberpunk, but
That'd be cool.
they already have the engine
You
in
swing
place.
your sword and stuff.
Obviously, the main reason for this direct is to like refresh everybody. I don't know if it's coming before Donkey Kong or after Donkey Kong, but to refresh everybody with like what's coming out for the rest of the year. Included in that is Metroid's release date.
Oh, let's go.
Which obviously we need.
Yeah, we need that.
And then, as far as I'm aware, the one more thing is supposed to be just a teaser card. I heard Isabel's going to show up, and it's going to tease a card Animal Crossing coming out in 2026.
People are going to lose their minds.
That's everything I heard.
Damn.
So, I don't know how much of that is true. That's everything I heard. And I never get information. So,
I think you might be right.
I'm skeptical. Don't take my word for it. That's just what I've been told.
Honestly, I can see. I don't know about the Animal Crossing thing.
Why?
I'm not because I don't know. I'm not too, but when it comes, we really need a release date for Metroid. Like
people are saying Final Fantasy. Look, that's all I know. I don't know, but I do think it's the idea of it is to not only refresh people on what's coming, but to show and talk more about third-party stuff because they're doing such big third-party support. Does Elden Ring have an update or a release date, or Final Fantasy have a release date? I don't know. I don't know about any of that, but I would assume.
I think they said wasn't Elden Ring later this year or at 2026?
I lose track.
I don't remember.
But if any of that's coming this year, I'm sure we'll probably get a release date for something. Probably some more surprises on third-party stuff. I mean, you got to remember, like, this is the start of a new generation, so announcements are going to be thick. And I don't know if you remember the start of Switch. Well, no, it took a little bit to get heated up, but I think because this is the same ecosystem, we're just going to be on a roll. This is where directs go crazy. We're back to directs going crazy. We're back to the big announcements, and I feel like it's like a 1-2 punch to release the console, and then a month or so later, you do a big direct. Like, they're also going to want to push it because the Mario Kart bundle, that only lasts through until fall.
Okay.
So they're really going to want to push as much as they can, like, get it now, because here's everything that's coming. here's also, you know how Animal Crossing is a thing everyone's been asking for?
Yeah.
Like, you know how like third-party support's a big thing. Here's everything else that's happening with our third parties. Here's Metroid's release date. Get it now. You got 2 more months until fall, you know? So.
Yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure, I feel like this was a way stronger launch than the Switch One, even though we got with Switch One.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this is a stronger launch.
It's way stronger.
Yeah.
Crazy strong. All right. So I am crushing it on TikTok right now.
Yo, you have been crushing it on TikTok.
Dude, I am out of control on TikTok.
Yeah,
You guys,
I've been seeing them everywhere.
so here I am on TikTok. My classic, obviously I use my classic beat 'em ups, and then my other classic name, user 88348611208859. Kind of inspired by Boogie 2988, you know, or 198, whatever. That kind of big inspiration for me. Want to be just like my heroes, you know.
Damn.
I haven't added a bio yet. Just give me time, but I do have 11,000 followers here, so I'm growing, you know.
You are growing.
I've kind of like, so I've taken this weird attempt over here on this channel where like I'm kind of doing this like whole zoomed in cropped line through my content, low resolution. Now, to some people this might seem weird, might seem like, you know, a weird editing choice for me to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
I just was going for like artistic. Like I wanted to make it look like I had ripped the files off of my own YouTube. That I didn't actually like have the raw files anymore. It was like it's like a artistic piece. And then I figured by putting a line through it, it would really say something.
It says a lot. So much.
Can we ban this account, please? Because I, for the life of me, cannot figure out how to. Oh, it's right here. You can't report on your phone. Oh wait, no, I could report. I didn't know what option to pick for reporting though. Report account.
They're also re-uploading your old content too.
So what do I report it as? Inappropriate, pretending to be someone. Oh, me. Oh, there is an option. Submit. Well, I don't want to block him. Everyone go do that.
Oh my God.
Please.
Mass report.
They're actually kind of crushing it though, I'm not going to lie. This whole thing is just my content. And they got 5,000, 9,000, 150,000 on this one. Oh, we're not going to be able to hear it. Unless I fix it really quickly.
Damn.
Should I fix it really quickly? I want to see what this is. Hold on. My, for some reason, the... what am I trying to say, Bingle? There
you
we
were
go.
talking about the audio.
Yeah. Hold on. Bing. Here we go. This should fix it. I want to know what... Oh. I still can't hear it. Did it get muted?
Oh, this is talking about the battery life, King.
It's making out like it's making noise, but I can't hear it. I don't know if they can hear it.
I can't hear it either.
Oh, jeez. Well, whatever. Right? For some reason, I can't hear it. Is it talking about the battery?
I think so, yeah, because I'm looking at the comments and it was like a whole thing about batteries.
Was this the one? I don't even know anymore. Just go and report this, please.
Stinky.
I've tried reporting it already and it doesn't do anything. No, it's just 1 week later. It's just me talking about the games.
They're literally stealing your content and then making it into parts.
The annoying thing is I don't even do TikTok, so like maybe I should be. I sent this to my editor. I was like, can you do these for real? So I can post them? I thought about downloading them and reposting them to my account, but they're such bad quality.
And they have a straight line through it.
Also, whoever it is must be a fan because they're pulling like from the midnight launch, from my streams. And now for some reason they've gone back to a random video I did years ago and they've pieced it out. Stop it!
Hey, man.
Also, By the way, we officially lost lost the login to the Nontendo account, the main one.
R.I.P.
So now we only have the new one, and the new one is still dead in the water. It's just not getting any views.
I think it's hard to get traction on TikTok right now.
Yeah, the dream is over.
TikTok is weird. I mean, Reels is cooking, and I don't know about YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts has always been weird.
King, actually, there's one thing about the Donkey Kong Direct I forgot to show that I'm excited for.
Oh. Is that the Amiibo?
Yeah, you haven't seen that?
No.
Oh, spoiler alert.
That's sick.
Yeah, I know, it's cool. It's $30.
Are they usually only like 20?
They were 15 at one. They were $12.99 at one point, I think. They were $15 essentially at once upon a time. They're creeping up there. I mean, to be fair, this is a big one, and you get kind of like 2 characters, but still.
I think I spent what 30 for the Zelda one with the Waffling.
The 8-bit one?
No.
Oh.
The Skyward Sword one.
Oh. The new Street Fighter ones are 40. I know. This is cheap compared to that. Yeah, I don't know what's happening to prices of things. I mean, probably tariffs, right?
Yep.
It was probably supposed to be 25, which doesn't seem as bad. But it's cool.
You know what?
Here's the thing, too. Everybody's like, $30, boycott. And then the website broke when people were buying it. And like you couldn't get one, and it was like a timer.
King, let me tell you something. I really don't think video game boycotts work the way people think they do.
Dude. Well, for one, everyone was like boycott, and then it was the best-selling console of all time because people can't commit because they want it.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the amount of YouTubers and influencers and creators that were like, let's boycott the Switch 2, and then they all bought it, and they're all making content around it.
The other thing is too, I really don't think the average consumer is in tuned with what YouTubers are saying about boycotting the system and stuff like that. The average consumer
not
sees
at all.
Shiny new Switch. This looks cool. Mario Kart, let's play.
Yeah, the average consumer, I definitely agree with you. It is funny to me though that like I think about this sometimes. I'm very, very lucky. I love you guys. I love the audience that I've built and the channel, especially beat 'em ups, obviously, but here too that I've built over the years. But you know, like my first hands-on impression, my 1 week later of a Switch 2 video is coming up on 1 million views, and I'm thinking about it like it sold 3 million.
Yeah.
So I have on that one video 1/3 of the total amount of people that have even bought this console. A console,
possibly.
I'm saying literally.
Yeah.
Like 1 million as a number. You think about how widespread the Switch 2 is. Everybody knows about it.
Yeah.
Worldwide, 3.5 million.
Even people when I went to the doctor's office, they're like, how is that thing? I've been hearing everywhere about it.
So all of that, right? This like actual global thing that's happening in the world that everyone knows about. 1/3 of the number is how many people have watched me do my 1 week later on it.
Okay.
That to me doesn't make sense. That to me is an insane thing. Like I'm thankful. I'm so privileged. Like I'm overwhelmed by it. Like it doesn't make sense to me. Like because I'm not worldwide. You ask 1 out of 1 million people, one person might know who I am. You know what I mean? Like no one knows me. Everyone knows the Switch. So how have I managed to get 1/3 of like the attention that the actual release got?
We would go to Manhattan and people will recognize you.
That's not what I'm trying to say though, and I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. I'm very famous. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. It's baffling to me. Like there's other things that sometimes when I think about it too much, I get blown away. And I try not to talk about it because it seems like I'm gloating. I'm really not. I'm so thankful and I'm so confused by it and I'm so appreciative of it. But it's like my review of like Xenoblade 2 that everybody hates, which I appreciate that you hate it. It has as many views as like that game sold, which that doesn't make sense to me.
Damn.
And sometimes I think about like, I love AEW, right? I watch it most weeks. That gets like 500,000 views a week. And it's got all these wrestlers getting paid. It's a big production. And then I piss around with a Switch for 10 minutes. You know? Sometimes things don't make sense to me. I don't know why I started talking about that other than just thank you so much for all the support you've given me
Hell
through
yeah,
the years.
kid.
It means so much to me. It really, really, really does. It's overwhelming. Yeah, it's overwhelming to me how much support you guys give me. Thank you.
You got a super chat of $50.
Oh my God. Speaking of, can I read that real quick? Oh,
Yeah.
it's Satisfye. A super awesome. Hey, can I talk about it? Can I talk about it, Philip? By the way, I probably should say this while Philip is here. I have a Satisfye grip on my Switch 2.
Oh,
I've been using it.
it's very comfortable.
It's look. I wanted to make a joke and I don't know if I want to commit to it. Look, we've taken a look at some like accessories on the channel already. We took a look at some grips and stuff like that. Like I'm not going to mention them, but some companies were nice enough to support the channel and send some products over, and I took a look at them and I reviewed them. And I don't want to talk disparagingly about any of those, but they don't hold a candle, my guy. There is a reason why I chose to work with Satisfye and I didn't choose to work with those other companies when it came to making a product. And it's because this literally, and I've said this so many times, it makes the Switch feel like a PlayStation 5 or 4 controller. Because it like
extremely comfortable.
it has those handles. It's got so much meat and so much girth. And like the other things we looked at recently don't even come close. And they also feel, comparatively to this, a little flimsy. This like, I don't know if you remember, I'm not going to give too many details, but how I was showing you, it was like, if I hold this in one hand, it kind of feels like the Joy-Con's going to snap out.
like
That's when I had it in the other grip,
oh
right?
yeah,
This, no. This, no.
it bends.
I know.
It bends. Oh,
But King, try it with this.
okay, give it to me.
That ain't bending. That's locking it. Oh, I got to cut it to you. Wait, show the bending one.
All right, this
I
is
wasn't-
my
I
Switch
wasn't
with
either.
nothing on it.
Yeah.
It's bending.
I don't even like you doing
I'm
that.
actually nervous. I'm
It
not doing
actually
that.
scares
I'm
me to
nervous.
see you
I'm
do that.
nervous.
That ain't going nowhere.
No.
So that's actually a prototype. That's why it's white. It's a. I've had it in my house for a little bit. Actually, I should have been using it. It's actually unfinished. It's not textured. It's a prototype. But as Satisfye just donated 50, the grips are a thing. They have gone into production. We have the first like set of them that we just looked over for quality. There was like 25 of them I think he had made, and he's sending them all to my house. So you'll get one. I'm going to divvy them out, probably take them to too many games and give them to some friends and, family or whatever. But they are finally all going out. And if you want to grab one, you can use code BeatEmUps15, I think, to get 15% off. Let me know if that's true, Satisfye. You can still get one. The people that have already pre-ordered are getting theirs first. We're doing it in batches, but they are officially moving. They are moving. And yeah, it's really cool. Some other features, if you don't know, is you can take your game cartridges. Like I can take Cyberpunk here, and I can slot it into the back. Whoops, wrong way. Slot it into the back. So I can keep 2 games here, and then also 1 in my Switch. So you're always carrying around at least 3. It's super comfortable. It's fully dockable.
That too.
Some other docks, people have been complaining that they don't fit in the dock right. Like it's too tight. Like
Yeah.
there's a reason why there's a cutout here.
That's really nice.
King.
Easy access.
Yours will look a lot nicer than this because this, again, is just a white prototype. But yeah. Actually, I've been meaning to shout that out. And I'll say this as well for anybody that's like, oh, shameless plug. One thing, this isn't a sponsor. This is a partnership. This is me and Philip from Satisfye have been working together now since the original grip, and we're relaunching these. This is me creating a product with somebody, an actual tangible, like, Beat 'em Ups official merch. And it's really the only merch I ever do. Like,
Yeah.
you won't hear me ever talk about shirts or anything else. This is what I care about. This took a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of energy, which is why I'm pushing it so hard. And 2, here on the podcast specifically, we have no sponsors. I still can't get sponsors.
Really?
I'm trying, man. So if you want to support, go to Satisfye, get a Beat 'em Up script, or even if you don't want mine, you can get the black one, which obviously looks really nice with the Switch because it all blends in. If you don't want yellow popping on your Switch, I like color personally, and my signature is on it.
Oh, sick.
But if you just want to get a black one, code BeatEmUps will still get you 15% off, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, it obviously supports me, and I'd really appreciate it. And I'm really excited for you guys to get your hands on these. And it makes, I gotta tell you, it makes it so much better. I've been trying to play the Switch 2 Raw, and it's better than Switch 1
It's better.
because it's bigger. It's nicer to hold, but it's still flat like a pancake.
Well, we were playing Mario Kart upstairs, all on our portable. I put it down on the table.
Yeah.
Because
your hands were hurting.
my hands were.
You know what? They wouldn't hurt.
If I had that,
I was hogging it though.
I do the same thing on the train too. I put it down on my lap, and I'm like, yeah, I can't.
Does this super chat mean you'll send me a grip because I'm a Patreon? I don't know if it means that. It also depends where you live. We can do giveaways though for sure. Maybe I can line up a giveaway. I was going to give some away at Too Many Games.
Sick.
So whoever was coming, right? The yellow looks super clean. So this is the last thing I'll say. But the reason why I went with yellow, I'll show you actually. There's a reason why I went with yellow even initially, or yellow and blue in general. I mean, yellow and blue is my colors. They kind of always have been. But the reason why I went with yellow as the main color is because when it's on the Switch, it frames it. And if you go to my channel, my channel has been updated with a new banner, but the banner before was also predominantly yellow. My banner and my logo has always had a yellow frame. So even the Beat 'em Ups logo has a yellow frame, a yellow border. So my thinking was if I made the grip yellow, you're kind of bordering your Switch yellow the same way the Beat 'em Ups logo is bordered by yellow. And then you'll also get a Beat 'em Ups logo on the back. So when you look at the yellow grip with the Beat 'em Ups white logo on it, it looks like my channel banner, essentially. That was the thinking behind it. I've told that before, but it's been a long time. Yep. All right, cool. Thank you for that. Thank you, everybody. I'd say links below, but I don't think I have them. All right, King, we're like going overtime. I'm kind of vibing. It's 4:30 though. When did we start? 2:30. It's been a while. Yeah. Let me see what I have here. There's a couple of things we can touch on, and then we should probably get out of here because you've been here 24 hours now.
Actually, yeah, that's true. I've been here 24 hours.
Sorry about that. I hope everyone's had a good time today, and I've done a pretty good job at switching here. I feel bad about some of it. I feel like I haven't been doing a good job, but I want to talk about this, and Bingle, you two wanted to talk about this too. So Nintendo banned my Switch 2. Don't try the MIG Switch. This is definitely worth talking about because I made a whole video on my channel about the MIG Switch and that it was safe to use on your Switch as long as you followed specific rules. And we'll talk about that. But apparently,
on the Switch 1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently on the Switch 2, do not do it. This is Scatterbrain with this video that's blowing up right now, and I feel bad for him that his camera is not focusing on his face. His whole video is out of focus. Can you focus something? This is your big moment. You got 250,000. I feel bad for him. This happens to me all the time. Yeah, he put a MIG switch into his Switch 2, and I guess it... God, dude, reshoot the video. Yeah, it made it so he can't go online anymore. So for those that don't know what a MIG switch is, if you never watched my video or you didn't remember, it's a cartridge that you can buy from a shady company that took a long time to get here, where it also you can buy a dumper with it. Funny word, I know. Where you can put your Switch carts into it. You can dump the files and the ROMs. You can dump them onto the MIG cart, put the MIG cart in your Switch, and run them off of that. The advantage is you can dump like every game you want. Any game you want onto it, multiple games onto it, and you have one cartridge, all your games. So here's the video I made. I mean, I'll talk about it. The way I did it was every game card that you buy, every game that you buy has a specific serial number to your game. Yeah. So for me, and the way that it works, technically how it should work, legally and morally, is as long as you're dumping your own games, the license that you've already paid for, and you're putting it onto something else, and you're just running that same license off of the same thing. Like, it's just you're playing the same license. Yeah. Nintendo, when you go online or you play that game on your Switch 1, it would just read as the license that you own. Yeah, so it's not a duplicate license. It's not a duplicate. So as long as you don't sell the MIG Switch with the license, or you even sell your cartridge now, you don't need it, right? Which would mean two people have the same license and they're playing online. Nintendo's going to flag that pretty quickly, right? As long as you're all doing it in-house, that's morally and legally okay. Yeah. And Nintendo didn't have a way, at least on the Switch 1, of telling whether or not you were using a MIG switch. But apparently... Were they able to tell the serial numbers on the Switch 1? Yeah, well, yeah. Okay. But apparently, and possibly due to certain YouTubers signal boosting it at the time. Sorry about that. Nintendo put in... Sorry about that, scatterbrain on YouTube. Apparently, Nintendo put in some better protections in place that literally looked for MIG switches. Like, I wouldn't even be surprised if Nintendo ordered a MIG switch, if they got a MIG switch in-house.
No, they
definitely did.
They're definitely... That's in their best interest to do.
They probably
they do that with the Game Shark back in the day.
They most likely bought one or got their hands on one, broke it down, went into it, figured out how it boots, what it does, and then found a way to detect it, installed that hardware onto the Switch 2, and they've already activated the software or whatever to block people as soon as they boot up the MIG switch.
That makes sense.
That's my theory. So if you watch my video and you end up grabbing a MIG switch, I would say use it on your Switch 1.
I would not use it on the Switch 2.
To back. I mean, even now, I'd say be careful because I don't know what they can do post-update, but only use it on Switch 1 if you're going to use it. Use it the way I said to use it, right? Back up your games, run your library off a card. Maybe only use it when you're offline, you know? Use it on trips, on road trips, on a plane. Do not put it in your Switch 2. Or else you're going to end up like Scatterbrain here. And he's so scatterbrained, he didn't even focus his cameras.
Damn.
That's mean.
Damn.
That's mean. It happens all the time. It happened in my unboxing video. My top camera wasn't focused for so much of the video. And I uploaded that, so I'm only kidding.
Is his account now banned on the Switch 1 too?
So I actually haven't watched the video. All I know is his Switch 2 can't go online.
Which
I mean, that's what the title says too. Is my Switch 2?
That's like a soft brick.
Yeah,
I call it a soft brick.
Now, can you fix that?
No.
Even if you completely reformat,
you would have to reformat it.
But would that work? Because the console itself would still have a serial number attached to it, and that serial number would still ping when you went online.
So, I mean, I'm not sure, but you could technically reformat it. The problem that arises is to reset it, factory reset it, and do a format, you need to connect to the internet anyway, and the console won't let you.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's a soft break. The only way to get over this is to literally call Nintendo and beg them to do it for you.
So here's my thoughts on this. While there is a way to do how I did it, to do it technically morally legal, I do think especially in Japan, I think their laws are different.
It's illegal in Japan.
And I think even just dumping your ROM and modifying your ROM in the way where you're moving it somewhere else.
Mods are illegal in Japan.
I think in Japan, even that is technically illegal. So they're in their right to do it. But even, I'll say in Nintendo's defense, even though people hate when I come to Nintendo's defense. And remember, I'm the guy that made a whole video on the MIG switch and how to do it legally and that it was okay and that I was doing it, right?
Yeah.
I'm on your side. But to play devil's advocate, doing it my way is probably not the way most people do it. I think most people probably buy the MIG switch because they want to get ROMs from online, or they want to dump a bunch of files and then sell their cards, or they want to pirate games.
Okay, yeah.
You know, I would say most people. There might be a large use case of people doing it my way, especially after my video, and that are too scared to do it any other way. But I mean, like, you can use this for piracy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Nintendo's whole thing right now is anti-piracy, and that whole thing has always been, every company is anti-piracy. It's just whether or not they can actually keep a handle on it. And by the way, they've found a way to fix the MIG switch, which is really in their best interest to do. They don't owe it to you to help you find a way of dumping ROMs and download. It's in their best interest, so it makes sense. But they've only blocked the MIG switch. I mean, like, people will find another way.
Oh yeah, 100%.
There's always another way.
Well, there's people who hack the Switch in the first 24 hours. It's only a matter of.
It happens every time.
It happens all the time.
It happens every time there's a new console. The newest console iteration fixes all of the hacks that are in place right now. They find a way of addressing all of it, and then the smart, brilliant people that I don't even understand how your brain works within 24 hours, you'll find a new way of doing it. And it's a challenge to you. It's almost like a sick pleasure that you take in hacking
the Switch,
and breaking software.
The Switch one was hacked with a paperclip.
True.
Which is nuts. I don't even know how you come up with that.
Nintendo are just giving you challenges, right? It's like every 8 years, you build the most elaborate Lego set. You build the Avengers Tower, like the 6-foot tall one, and then every 8 years, Nintendo comes along, they pick it up, they smash it against the wall, and they go, do it again. And you're like, well, I like Legos. I'm a big Spider-Man fan, so yeah, I guess brick by brick.
Damn, that actually sucks to get the account banned, because that is like,
suck.
can you imagine having like I have what 100 games on my Switch?
Yeah.
I'd be pissed.
To be fair, his video's blowing up. It has 250,000 views. If it keeps getting views like that, he can probably just buy another Switch with the ad revenue eventually.
That's true.
Keep helping him out. Keep watching the video.
Or I don't know if you put it in the doc, or you can possibly get the Switches that were stolen.
Oh, we should talk about that. There are so many things.
Millions of dollars worth of Switches were stolen.
Let's just do a 3-hour episode.
Oh my god.
When do you want to leave?
I mean, I can leave in whenever.
Hold on, let me see here. Where did I put it? Donkey Kong, Stellar Blade rumor. Apparently Stellar Blade's getting a Switch version.
Oh, sick.
Must have a rumor. I don't know if it's true.
Well, is it even on the PS4? Stellar Blade? Is it
doesn't
PS5?
matter. It doesn't matter. The Switch 2 is more powerful than PlayStation 4.
Of course.
People, you know, also, you optimize a game for the console now.
It works.
It works.
Yeah.
You could put Stellar Blade on PlayStation 4 if you really wanted.
That's true.
It just wouldn't look good.
No, it would not.
Wouldn't run good. Switch 2 versus Switch 1 battery. Thousands of Switch 2 stolen. It's a TikTok?
Well, I sent it to you, yeah.
Why is it a TikTok?
It's by NBC News.
Give me an article. That's fine. I don't think the audio will play. I want it known that I fixed the audio for today. We didn't call Ham.
We didn't call Ham. You want to call Ham?
After this.
Okay.
Remind me to do it, though.
Okay.
Thousands of Switch 2 consoles stolen from a truck. So, to give you a long story short, it was a GameStop truck?
Yeah. GameStop.
A truck on the way to GameStop.
They're not catching a break.
This one pictured here. When deputies arrived, they determined that 2,810 Nintendo Switches had been stolen out the back of the trailer at some point. These devices each have a serial number the police and Nintendo can track. Nintendo does have the capability of bricking the device. Imagine they brick 3,000 Switch 2s.
That
That
sucks.
What a waste of hardware and
wait, 3,000
resources.
Switch 2s. That's 500 a pop, 450 a pop. But let's round it to 5.
$1.5 million, I think it said.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think that's what I read. I might be wrong. It's because it's $500 times 3,000.
This ain't like the old days where you can just steal a bunch of consoles and sell them and say, this fell off the back of the truck, boys. Just take it.
I know.
It's not like
there's
that
things
anymore.
in place now. Nintendo says if you're on the hunt for a Switch, stick to the shops you trust. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, someone in chat might correct me, but I'm pretty sure the article was 1.5 million. Someone said 1.2 million. You can probably round up plus tax. 1.5 million.
That's a lot. That's
crazy.
Lot of money.
I mean, you could do hard time for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to call Ham quickly because I want to talk to him. And it was his birthday yesterday. And we were going to call him yesterday. And I spent so long figuring out how to connect my phone.
Are you going to switch the scene? It's just been on me. Hello.
How long was it on you?
For a while, for like 5.
Sorry about that. Let me see if this still works. Yep. I was testing that. Before we call Ham, listen to this.
It's a jam.
So that's Super Mario Kart. I saw an interesting TikTok the other day it said that the Super Mario Kart theme song has been, the melody or whatever the word is, has been reused in every Mario Kart and like redone. And I didn't notice it's in the new, I was like, well, they didn't do it for Mario Kart World. They did. It's in here. It's the guitar.
Oh yeah, you told.
Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. It's not this part. It's after this, I think.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah, I hear it. I hear it. Before
How cool is that?
I didn't. I didn't put it two and two together because I know that original theme.
Let me go back so you can hear it again. It's not letting me.
Oh wait, the tempo seems different though.
Yeah, well, they I don't know what the word is. Not melody. They twist it. They twist it. King.
Remixed it.
I wish I had these closer back to back. I'm taking forever to find it.
I've heard this in a lot of Mario Kart, so Double Dash and Deluxe, the last few that I played before Worlds.
Now hear it again.
Okay, I see what they did.
Oh wait, no, here it is. Maybe it's all the same.
It's after that intro.
There it is.
There it is. There it is. There you go.
There it is.
Yeah, there you go. Bro, the Mario Kart, also this soundtrack goes incredibly hard.
That is
It
crazy.
is an amazing, you know, that's where the $80 came from all that composing.
There was another TikTok I saw about how they meshed another song into it. It was cool. Sorry about that. I feel embarrassed. I got the wrong part. I was like,
listen, I was saying I hear it, so
I was like, I know it's there, so I'm just gonna play along because I heard it on the TikTok, but I'm having trouble hearing it now. And I just kept acting like I could hear it. All right, I'm gonna try calling Ham real quick. I just want to talk to Ham about why he left because we never talked about it on the show. See if he answers because I told him I would call him in 15 minutes, and that was 2 hours ago.
hopefully he does.
Let's see.
Oh,
You'll be so proud of me right now.
dude, if the stream can hear me right now, I'm so proud of you.
You know what I've done?
What have you? How did you do an audio routing situation that's made this possible?
We're Bluetoothed in to the Rodecaster.
Oh,
Yeah.
very.
I can
very
even
cool,
I
very-
can even control your audio now, like you're a.
There's
Although,
like a whole channel for it.
although the one thing I'll say, wait, can you? Does it sound like? Can you hear Bingle? Bingle, whisper.
Ham.
Whisper.
No. Oh yeah, I can hear him. Yeah, I heard him.
Whisper.
Ham. Do you hear me?
Do you hear that?
Yes, yeah, I heard him. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're coming through the shore mics as well. You can hear us through the shores.
Yeah, very cool.
I know. Happy birthday, buddy!
Oh,
Thank you.
oh, it is. It's his birthday.
Yesterday. It was
Yesterday
yesterday.
is his birthday.
I was
Happy
gonna call you
birthday.
yesterday for your birthday, and then we got a blackout for 10 hours.
Yeah, that did happen.
All right. So tell the people what you're doing right now.
Right now, I'm at Casey's General Store.
Where?
in somewhere in the middle of Illinois.
Yeah, because you're
and I
currently doing what?
I am currently driving a U-Haul, Tifa U-Haul, from New York City to San Diego, California, with my entire life packed up in the back of it.
Yeah, so for everybody that was thinking that I fired Ham again, I didn't fire Ham. He is
okay, never mind.
moving to California. Wait, what?
Well, I was just going to say, is because I made the decision to move to California after you fired me, you know, because I needed a new job.
Because you had
So-
nothing
Wow.
else going on, right? No,
So you
Ham's
brutally fired me from the podcast.
moving to Cali. We forgot to talk about it last week, but he, you mind if I say? You want to say? You say.
No, you can say I've talked about it before already. What, about what I'm doing?
Yeah.
I'm gay. Oh, sorry. I'm with my friend right now. I'm moving to San Diego because I am going to be the production manager for Pay Money Wubby.
Yep.
I thought you want to sit in the air.
Sick.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know Wubby, it's one of Ham's longest friends. I don't know how long you've been friends. Way longer than I've known Ham. And he
Maybe.
well, Wubby's one of the largest Twitch streamers on the platform and a very large creator. He often goes live to like 15,000 people.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's been friends with Ham for a long time, and he wanted Ham to come out and essentially do what Ham was doing for me, but for him, because
well,
not really.
And then a lot more.
Yeah,
like,
not really. You and I had a very like symbiotic, just kind of like you came and helped me put on a podcast. Yeah. You're going to be like
we
really.
We had a light arrangement. My arrangement for Wubby will be very heavy.
Very heavy. You're like organizing whole streams and events and like an actual production.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, full-time thing. So very proud of Ham. Yeah. Very excited for Ham. Also, Ham.
Oh, see, despite the fact, I have to say, despite the fact that Wubby is one of the biggest streamers on the platform, et cetera, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of my audience on Twitch, especially, comes from like him, or just like being tangent. Like there's a lot of crossover there, right? It's interesting because lately, just as I leave the Nontendo podcast, there's been like an influx of people in like my Instagram DMs and people who like have been following me on Twitch saying that they found me on Nontendo.
Yeah, so, I mean, well, you've been on the show every week and popping up on my main channel, and
I'm appreciative of the opportunity. Is all I'm trying to say. It's very nice, and everything that people have been saying has been very nice, and I appreciate it a lot.
Like, it was a very special time you and I shared together, and I definitely wish we had more of it. And again, you saved the show and you kept it going. And
saved the show.
I appreciate you.
But all I did was push you in the right direction. At the end of the day, you saved your own show. You know.
You will be sorely missed.
All I did was make you not quit.
You will be sorely missed. I miss. We were getting somewhere with the friendship. You know.
That's true. Yeah. Well, it could still go places. You know, it's just gonna have to be long distance now, which is hard, but we can make it work.
Well. Yeah, I'm proud of you, and what you're doing is bigger and better and more exciting, and so many of your friends are out there in California too, and I'm proud of you, and I wish you the best, and we love you, and anytime you want to call into the show, especially once you get settled, you're more than welcome to.
Hell yeah, of course I will. I miss you guys a lot, you and Bingle and Kim and Sticky Joe. Everybody,
I miss you too, Ham.
I was seeing you every week. It feels as sad as it does when Bob left, and because I was seeing him every week, and it's like you see someone, you work with them, you're chatting with them, you're getting lunch, and then it's gone. Yeah,
it's a happy sad.
It's a happy sad because I'm very happy for you, and it's what you had to do.
Yeah, it's to come for sure, but at the same time, I will gonna miss being on the pod as often as I was. So I had a great time there, and it's honestly the pod is also part of the reason why I got the job that I got in the first place, because it kind of helped me.
Honestly, what would you do without me? No,
I honestly, I'm gonna pay you half my salary, dude.
I hope you do. I need it. The show needs it.
I will. Yeah, Stinky Joe needs it too. Yeah.
So. Bob.
I'm here to help you in your time of financial hardship.
I'm definitely having it. We haven't even really talked about the fact that I have a hole in my ceiling and my shower is being torn up right now. Yeah. Bob left and moved out to Long Island. Scoot left the show and moved out to California. You've left to California. How long is it before Bingle moves somewhere, do you think?
I don't want to go anywhere.
How long till he's in Cali with you?
I mean,
what if Kim moves?
Bingle's way too New York to live in California.
That's true.
I think
I'm too New York coded.
Say gabagool.
Gabagool.
No, that's not interesting. Say mozzarella.
Mutz.
There you go.
Yeah, so there it is.
All right. We got to get going. We've been live like 3 hours. I gotta pee.
I have to go to the bathroom too.
I gotta pee real bad.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
We've been vibing.
Is this a bonus, or are you in the main episode?
We haven't done the bonus yet.
Yeah, this is main episode.
Oh my god.
I know.
H3 pod over here. Jeez.
Well, don't bring that up right now.
I love you guys so much.
I love you too.
Love you, Ham.
And
bye.
You called it a really good time too, because I'm stopped right now. So.
Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your drive across wherever you're going.
Yeah, dog.
Okay,
I'll
bye.
talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Cool. If we lose Wood instead, I leave the show and then it's just Kim and Bingle, and I move to California.
Damn, we take over.
We really do have to get out of here. There's just been so many things. There's this now. IGN.
Oh, too much water. 7 out of 10.
The Nintendo Switch 2 is a vital upgrade over the original. It's that the only way you've been able to play games for the last 8 years, but improvements that are mostly playing catch up, and a big price jump makes it about as exciting as a long overdue phone upgrade in the larger scheme of things. 7 out of 10. They officially rated the Switch 2 a 7 out of 10. Now, some people, including our friend here, OJ, who, by the way, I didn't talk about this on the show, but OJ ended up messaging me and we chatted for a while after that episode where I was like, I think he hates me. And he was like, I don't hate you. And we talked it out for a while, and we're friends. We've been friends for a long time. I think there was a miscommunication and a misunderstanding.
They gave the PlayStation Portal an 8 out of 10.
OJ once again with the dub here and the one up, though, I gotta say. They gave the Portal an 8. For now, it's a great device that represents the best current solution for PlayStation Remote Play. Save for a few baffling caveats, I'd call this a must-own device for every PS5 owner who enjoys playing handhelds. Look, I know IGN's weird because it's like different people review different things, but in what realm of who at IGN is still playing the PlayStation Portal? Is this reviewer, have they even got it charged? Mine is dead in a drawer right now. I don't touch the thing. And I liked it just fine when it came out too, but rating that higher than the Switch, a whole new console capable of so many things, or a console that streams a console you already have.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's bizarre to me. I don't know
crazy.
why he linked this one. I mean, it just says, the Switch 2 has to face a problem the original didn't, handheld gaming PCs. I'm not sure how that's relevant because that's just this person's opinion, and they're not technically wrong. I just feel like they did face it. They faced it on, and then they did a pretty good job.
They kept the price at a good point.
This is bizarre. Also, I wasn't going to go in on this too hard if it was my boy.
It's not.
But it's not. It's not my guy.
I wonder what he would have rated it.
So I have a friend at IGN now, Logan. We bonded over the terrible score we both gave Mario and Luigi Brothership, if you remember.
5 out of 10.
I want to get him on the show, actually. He's their resident Nintendo reviewer, and he's also the head of their Nintendo podcast over at IGN. And this wasn't him. I want to talk to him about it. I'll try and call him. I'll try and get him on the show next week.
Okay.
He's been meaning to come on. I'll try and get him on the show next week, and we can talk about that. He probably won't be able to say much because he can't really go against his own.
Yeah. But
But
we
I
also don't want to get him in trouble.
I want to know if I can at least get his score. I'd want to know at least if he can tell me what he would rate it. He might do that.
I say he would give it a high 8, low 9.
What would I give the Switch 2? Probably a 7. Now, what would I give it? I don't know if I could give it a... Could I give it a 10? I don't know if I could give it a 10.
I wouldn't give it a 10.
I wouldn't give it a 10 just because of last night.
Last night proved it is not a 10, okay? Wait, 2 hours of battery life. We were praying this thing wouldn't die on us.
Maybe once they do an upgrade of a battery, I could give it a 10. It's at least an 8 for sure.
I give it a high 8, a very high 8, low 9. I got to, but also like as a pure console thing, this thing's awesome. Like
it is awesome. Yeah, I don't know. Like yeah.
Joy-Cons are great. This is like my favorite part about it.
Other than the battery, I can't think of anything wrong with it. Like
the kickstand's pretty good.
I know people are really upset about the OLED. I really do think that's something that is blown out of proportion because this time around we have HDR.
It has HDR and it actually makes the colors really pop.
Yeah, so like sure, the blacks on the OLED looked nicer. They were richer, but the colors now are better. Like the bloom of like the neon lights and Cyberpunk look way nicer, you know? And it also like the trade-off here, like yes, the Switch screen isn't an OLED. But now that we have HDR, it means when we dock it on an OLED TV, we also get HDR.
And it's nice.
So now docked, you have HDR OLED, if you have an OLED, if you care about OLED that much, right? Mm-hmm. You have that possibility. Whereas handheld, sure, you're losing the OLED, but you're still gaining HDR. So technically, when it comes to docking, you're getting more out of it because you don't have an OLED when you dock.
No.
And you get the 120 frames. Not that that's screen related, but
it helps smoothing out frames though. That 120 hertz definitely helps smoothing out frames.
Would I prefer OLED and HDR? Of course. But I had this conversation so many times leading up to it. OLED screen is expensive.
Super
They're already complaining about spending $500. You want to spend $550?
No.
You want to spend $600?
No.
Didn't think so. So I think the trade-off made sense. If it was an OLED though, it's just being honest, and the battery didn't suck, I'd go 9.
Yeah.
I think because it's not those things, I'll go a high 8.
Yeah, high 8. I think it's respectable. High 8.
So is a 7 really that bad? I mean, it's one off what we're giving it. I think it's bad because they gave the Portal an 8.
There is no world where this is worse than a Portal.
The
okay?
Portal's a 5 at best. The Portal is a worse version of what you can do on a PlayStation 5.
You can do that on your phone.
You can do that on your phone.
Why do I need a Portal for that? I can literally plug in controllers.
And actually, even funny you mentioned that because in their review here, it says that it feels like a long overdue phone upgrade. Whereas, yeah, the Portal, which they gave an 8, you can do it on your phone.
True.
You care about phones so much, IGN. That one's
I don't agree with that.
To be fair, and I will say this, to be fair, and I had this conversation with Logan, a 7 at IGN means good. That's their weird rating, is a 7 means good. And then like, I think an 8 means like great, and a 9 means like incredible, and a 10 means perfect.
10 should be perfect.
And then I think a 6 is mid or average or something. So it's just above average and mid into good, and they think it's good.
Well, 5 is mid.
Yeah.
5 or 6 is mid.
So they are saying it's good. They're not saying it's bad. They're just saying it's not that
I'm
good.
just annoyed that it's worse than a PlayStation Portal.
Also, 7 is just too low in general. 7 is like you wanted to give it you're calling it mid, but you're too afraid to do it.
Am I a weird in saying like I feel like someone pays them for higher reviews sometimes?
I don't know. No. Yes? No. I don't think so.
You don't think so? Because I feel like Nintendo doesn't really need it.
I don't think so, only because 1, it's illegal, and I highly doubt they're doing anything illegal. And 2, people accuse me all the time of being paid by Nintendo when I give something a good score or a bad score or whatever, or like I don't get paid enough. And it's like, I hear that so much that when someone tells me, do you think IGN's getting paid? I'm like, no. You just think that because you don't agree, which is what happens with my content all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, we got to get out of here. I'm sorry we're going so long. Let me just make sure I hit everything I care about. We have more for the bonus, though. Fake Me is crushing it. Nintendo banned Switches. Stellar Blade rumor. Metroid is out. IGN. Switch staple.
Are you talking about the thing in London?
Metroid's the Metroid is out now. Yeah, we can show that really quickly. I'm not even going to have a whole conversation about this, but yeah.
That's funny.
They put up a thing in the subway in London of Metroid Beyond, and it says out now. So people are now speculating what that means. Although, I don't know if we'll find it in the comments here, but someone pointed out, I don't think you can see it here. You can't. There's a Mario Kart 1 next to it that has the same out now logo. And so people think that whoever was putting these up or whoever made these just copy pasted and got confused and thought that this one was out.
Yeah.
Either that or it's about to drop any second.
Imagine we get shadow dropped. Metroid, like the direct comes out and they shadow drop it.
That would be so.
I would lose my
next
gourd.
month. That could be possible.
Next month?
Next month could be possible. It can't shadow drop much sooner than that because it would have leaked already if the games were in the stores. Someone would have given that away. There ain't no way.
I also feel like they wouldn't shadow drop this. They'd make a big stink about it. Right? Well, they kind of are already.
They would make a big stink about it. There's no way they'll shadow drop that game.
Yeah, they're going to make a big stink about it.
Okay, and one last thing. Okay, there's so many things. One last thing I want to say. I've seen people retweeting this a lot. I got retagged in this a lot. Remember when this was a controversy 3.5 million units later? I don't know how many times I have to say this. 1, it wasn't a serious tweet. No. It was some people might get a bit confused. That's all I wrote. 2, I was very clearly not talking about the 3.5 million people that were waiting on Target at midnight online to pre-order this thing.
Who are avid Nintendo
or
fans.
people lining up at GameStop to pick one up. Yes, the employees knew what they were handing out. Yes, people knew they were going to go get the Switch 2 at launch. I am the guy, by the way, the same guy that has been saying for a year that this launch will blow the Switch 1 launch out the water.
True.
Like, I predicted this 3.5 million, not to this extent, to be honest. I never knew it was going to be this crazy, but I knew it was going to be huge. In no way did I think that in a grand scale that this thing was going to tank because of the boxes or even that launch was going to fail. I thought that come this Christmas, when grandma goes out to buy one for Timmy, he might be getting an OLED until the stores open back up on the next non-public holiday when they get to go back in and trade it for a Switch 2.
Yeah, that might be.
I think that might happen in some houses across the world.
There might be some stores trying to get rid of their Switch 1 stocks too, so they're like selling it for cheaper, and grandma's like, "Oh, it's on sale."
I actually got tagged in a tweet a lot of times that had several thousand likes. Some random user on the internet. No, they had no pictures, unfortunately, but they tweeted. They were like, "Deadass just sent my aunt to the store to get me a Switch 2, and she almost came back with a Switch 1."
Yeah, that makes sense.
It makes sense. I didn't want to engage with it because there was no proof, there was no pictures, but
yeah.
I got tagged in it a lot because it was blowing up and people were like, people owe beat 'em ups an apology. You don't. It doesn't matter. That will happen though. Some aunt, some mom, some dad, some kid, someone is going to get confused because if you go to the store and they're out of the Switch 2 and they only have the Switch 1 and the Switch 1 looks like the Switch 2, someone's going home with a Switch 1 thinking it's the new thing. It's just going to happen. I promise you it's going to happen. To one person. To at least one person.
We're going to get it.
One kid this Christmas will get the wrong thing.
I want to see when they're opening up a box and it's going to be
I want that video to be shared so bad so I can retweet it.
It's going to happen. I have a feeling.
Someone make that happen accidentally so that I can retweet it. GameCube carts, Raidu carts at 16. We did it.
Yep.
God damn, how long?
Talked about everything.
This might be the longest episode ever. Actually, no, it's only been 2 hours.
It's like a little over 2.
That might be the longest episode ever.
Was it?
It might be. I have to pee so bad.
I have to go to the bathroom.
It is actually insane.
We're dying.
Guys, thank you so much. I'm going to stop playing the music. Guys, thank you so much. Patreon scroll. I need to update this, but this is the VIP Patreons. If you're a Patreon and you need your name down here, I'm going to add it. But thank you so much to all of these Patreons for making what we do here possible. As I said, we don't have a sponsor. And like, yes, today I shouted out the grip. But in general, week to week, it is the Patreons. And to be real, it's still the Patreons even today that make this show possible, that keep this show going, that give me a reason to get up in the morning and wash and bathe myself. Make sure that I don't stink.
That's
to even
true.
clean my underwear. Like, I wouldn't do it without the Patreons. They give me a reason to live.
Hell yeah.
I appreciate you all so much. And not only did we just do a 2.5-hour episode, but at least me, you can take a break if you want. But I'm about to go do a bonus episode for Patreons where we're going to talk about so many other things.
I'll be there. I just need to go.
We're going to talk about... I got to pee as well. We're going to talk about the Switch 2 versus Switch 1 battery comparison. I want to talk with Bingle about whether or not the Ocarina of Time deserves a remake. That's the main topic for the bonus episode.
Oh, I got.
We're gonna get into it.
Yeah, I got. You'll see.
You'll see.
See you on the bonus,
Guys. Thank you so much, and also a big shout out to the following people for super chats: Mark Reed, Professor Rock, Ninetales, Barhash, Kira, Jacob, Orpheus, Z, the Doubler, Satisfye, of course, Cam, and the Sith Lord. Thank you all so much. Hey. If you're listening to this or watching this or whatever it is you're doing, can you rate us 5 stars, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe? I appreciate it so much. Even the stuff on the audio platforms really help push the show and get us into those top gaming charts or whatever and help the show grow. And if you're here on YouTube, the engagement and the likes obviously help share the episodes out. And now is our time. It's the Switch 2 time. We're shining. We're doing long episodes. Come rain or hurricanes or tornadoes, apparently. We're here live with you guys. Thank you to Bingle, who joined me today.
Thanks
made
for
this
having
episode
me.
possible because Kim couldn't, unfortunately, after last night, fell through. You guys are the absolute best. And I love you. And I will love you. And I'm always gonna love you.
Show your camera when you're saying.
Well, I was waiting for your lower third to run out.
Oh, okay.
All right, everybody. Oh, wait, we can't end now. We ended at the wrong time. Wait, let's do this one. Oh, this one takes so long to play.
What is it?
It's the second. For some reason, Eric made this really long interlude that's dead quiet. And
I hear
and
the
then
little...
all of a sudden it just hits.
I'm hearing drums.
You'll hear it when it hits. Bye, everybody. I hope you'll have a great weekend, and we'll see you in the bonus. Bye.